Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, everybody. Welcome back to another day, Friday, the last day of this week for streaming. So, cheers to that. But, anyways, welcome back, even though none of you are on the stream currently, but to those that tune in soon. Yeah, so I don't know, I think, let's see, some data just came out. Wasn't even really, to be honest, wasn't even really paying all that much attention to it. But we definitely just got some data. I think it was the jobs numbers or unemployment numbers, one of the two. Yeah, unemployment report, etc. And then we had some data come out at 10 a.m. Some Fed speaks around 10:30, 9:15 stuff. But anyways, so the jobs numbers and stuff just came out, or unemployment numbers. Markets boosted up from that. The VIX was long-sided, now back to bearish with the jobs numbers, which means market back to long and short term, which we'll get into in just a second. Let's see, USA unemployment rate for November, 4.2% versus 4.2% estimate. So basically the same. Private non-farm payrolls, 194,000 versus 160,000 estimate, so an uptick there in non-farm payrolls. USA non-farm payrolls for November 227 versus 202. USA estimate. Cool. Okay, good stuff. Welcome back. I love how it just shoots. It's funny, our stream every morning, it starts, it gets going, there's like one or two people, and then it skyrockets right to about 30 or 40, and then just flatline. Love it. It's good stuff. All right, so anyways, we'll get into it. So I'd say probably, aside from the data that's come out and what have you, yeah, so aside from all the data that's come out this morning and kind of boosting the market up, I would say one of the, which it really was the data. I mean, it's obviously data, which is kind of driving today's move in the market, pre-market, if you may. But again, it's merely just used to go to and from, a lot of times key levels, things like that. So real quick, we'll get into it, and it's the VIX. So this is something I was obviously watching this morning. So and again, just like yesterday, it was a really funky one, but ultimately yesterday resulted in just kind of an odd kind of VIX day in a way, where we kind of had to break over the 50, then we kind of chopped, and it just kind of doing this chopping game all day where the VIX is trying to get positive. And you'll see we end up kind of topping and rolling the market yesterday, which is, pretty much what we talked about all day with the VIX flirting with an uptrend start. It's kind of that signal where you might do a little top pullback on the market, so on and so forth. But this morning, the jobs numbers and everything is coming out. So far, it's respecting, or the market's respecting it in a positive manner. So as a result, this morning, where is my pre-market chart? Weird. Oh, I think that's why I just flipped this one. Yeah, so the jobs numbers come out positive-ish, and so as a result, you can see we've broken back down the buy signal. So real quick, looking at this chart here, can you see it's actually incorrect? It should be right here. 1 second. Right there, that 50 SMA, $13.41 volatility index. If we're above that, the market's on the edge. If VIX comes back below that, the VIX just entered a new selling operation this morning pre-market off the back of the data. So we're looking at the data. Yes, it's coming out positive, but as it results to the VIX is broken down 1341. So the VIX just gone into a short-term sell signal as well. So we're kind of looking at the market today and go, okay, jobs numbers, market respects it. VIX breaks back down. So anything that was looked at as short bias yesterday and into this morning, based off the VIX being positive, is now null. It's void, right? And that's kind of off the back of the jobs numbers today, okay? So yeah, and arguably, the reason the volatility had kind of peaked up over the last 2 days is like you had Fed Powell, and then you have jobs numbers coming out, right? So the volatility is slightly increasing, off the back of some of these unknown outcomes for some of these foreseeable catalysts, right? So you have Powell, jobs, some data. When things like that occur, a lot of times you get a little creep in volatility. And then it usually is just how is the market going to react to the catalyst one way or the other, but volatility increases nonetheless. So this morning, either way, the VIX broke back down at 1341. That means you, as soon as that happens, you're not going to be short bias the market. You're going to be long bias the market because volatility is entering a downtrend, right? So jobs numbers up, employment, whatever, boom, up. So, even though, again, I don't necessarily look at the jobs numbers every single time and go like, oh, we're down 20K, so that means it's got to go this way. And no, I just kind of look at it. Jobs numbers, whether good, bad, they're all just catalysts to move the market, and the market's going to go to and from liquidity zones and buy and sell signals on the VIX, and there's enough of those things. It's kind of where I look at the market personally, as opposed to going, oh, jobs numbers are up 20,000, so or whatever, unemployment's down, so then we got to go up. Yeah, I don't get too mixed up with that. I try not to, at least. And try to stay, more just on the sides of the market likes to move to and from key zones, and there's a lot of times going to be a signal on the VIX or something. But anyways, so that's how I'd read today. Again, catalyst is jobs numbers. We started this morning positive on the VIX. As a result of unemployment, we enter a sell move on the VIX. So then the market obviously is up, and that's that. Which it all happened very, very quick this morning. It's not like, it's basically, you basically have one candle up this morning. That's pretty much it. If you go look at the SPY, it's pretty much one candle up. And obviously it went up a little bit after that first initial jolt, but it's merely just like one candle, right? So yeah, and that's obviously what we look like right here. So yeah, that's that. Obviously, Bitcoin got cooked overnight. Yesterday, we didn't talk about it dropping this far, but we were kind of on that sell side, at least until the price of 97,959. And then that got taken out along with the daily demand. So a lot of key levels got taken out on this swoop, really stopped some people out, which then just put us right back into another support, which is down here anywhere from 93,400 to 91,129, which we covered a little bit throughout this week. We didn't emphasize it too much. And again, it's kind of one of those things, right? You don't talk about supports that are too far down until you kind of get there, because you have to go through so many other ones. So what we saw yesterday on Bitcoin is merely just a cascade. And we talked about it, like you have this whole long move right here, and of this long move, you create levels all the way up. And as they go through the time frames, we'll test each one of them until the market finds something that it likes strong enough. So yesterday you saw the 1 minute get taken out, 5 minute, 15, hourly, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, daily, back to bigger daily support, which is down here at 93,000 to somewhere in there. So anyways, that was kind of interesting to see, but nonetheless, we'll get into some more stuff here in just a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I would say that's it's actually looking pretty good here, to be honest. Kind of has like a flag look to it. We'll see if that gets some follow through. Let's double check here with the old Bitcoin. Let's see if we top here. Then obviously you're just going to expect it comes back up to screw with people who are short, unless there's extreme weakness. It's another story. But if things play nice, we're probably going to see this come back up here. So my first guess is that we pretty much gonna get, this is not like my first guess. My first guess is obviously a shorter time frame, but I could see again, even this market here, Bitcoin backtracking up into this zone, because that would make sense to me. Let's go down some 5. So we backtracked the 5 minute finally. 15 minute is what we're doing right now. 30 minute would be next. So these are realistically all little levels I pay attention to, but these are just kind of the smaller ones. And then hourly starts there, and then 2 hours starts, yeah, and then 3. Yep. That's kind of goofy looking. How does that work? How is that even possible? So that would be like right now one of the retrace levels I would kind of expect at target on Bitcoin. Doesn't have to, but again, that would basically be going up and retracing the 4 hour. We've already done a lot of the short-term stuff, right? We've already sold off strong enough, then bounced, backtracked the 1 minute. You can see that here. We kind of failed the backtrack and live test. We finally got the live test here. And then again, along with the 5 minutes, now we're on to the 15 and so on and so forth. So you kind of got to get through some of those shorter term levels to go get the 4 hour, but we'll see. And that's some of the short term kind of movement. Has nothing to do with long term perspective and whatnot. So we would basically need this to kind of like flag breakout. You can kind of see a flag set up. It's against the trend for the moment in the short term. You can see we're downside, right? And then this would be sort of a flag setup here, but from a down move. So it might be harder to break it up, and we'll see. So yeah, that's some good stuff. Yep. Laugh out loud. Bought Ethereum. Nice. Yeah, I love how we just basically skyrocket straight to our peak for the day. It's pretty funny. Yeah, this is usually it's what the stream looks like. I'll pop this on. So this is pretty much what it looks like every morning. So it's just flat spike to about 30, and then just pretty much flat line all day long. So it's pretty funny. We have the usual gang is here with us, but usually not two more. The typical gang is back in chat, baby. Buy some XRP for your own good. Okay, sounds good. Speaking of, is it holding its high? Haven't checked in a day or two. It's relatively holding. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Are you saying buy XRP for your own good because you think Bitcoin was, or is, it wouldn't be was, it would still be is the beta test coin, and XRP is actually supposed to be the actual coin used for all financial revolution? Is that the reason we must own it for our own good? Fundamentals are good. They are pretty good. I actually should spend a little bit more time researching Ripple in that regard. I know basics, not too in depth there, but it should take a weekend at least. All right, so cool. Litecoin to the moon, baby. Litecoin to the Ripper Magoo. All right, what time is it? Oh, it's 8:47. That's right. I hopped on early because I was kind of bored. All right, real quick, let me kind of get my head on straight and start looking at a few other things. Where is my pen? ISO 2222 or whatever that number is. I will do that. Yeah, hold on, sorry. I'm just kind of looking at these. So again, not again, but let's see. We should be, looks like SPY is going to be, it's already doing it, but pretty common. It would do a retrace at least to the 1 minute. Well, the 1 minute's kind of far away. We'll see about that. I mean, it probably does happen, but it might just be, I don't want to say later. Things can happen pretty quick, but right now we'll be looking for like a 1 minute trend catch up. So right now the 1 minute trend's all the way down at 606.77. So either it comes in the market basically just pulling down to around there. Also, let's see, let's at 607, 02, 606. Yeah. So basically, you know, SPY pull down to, you know, arguably 606.77 here, slash into the open. And if we don't do the short pull, it's just going to be used as a catch up later. So that's always kind of sometimes the iffy part of some of this approach, but yeah, I guess I'll pull it up here. So we're basically looking at a pullback down to about 606.79 as a potential 1 minute reset. If it gets held up, I mean, that's another story. And I'm not going to get into all the what ifs, but basically, if markets play nice, then you have a short that's all the way down to here, right there. If they don't play nice, then I'll show you what it looks like here in the future. It's just going to come in the form of a catch up, is what I call it. They don't always play nice, but we'll see. And where's the VIX? VIX is still downsided, and with it breaking down, man, it still will be below the 30. I mean, everything is down there. Yup. Yeah, so I do. I mean, you know it better than I do, clear about the whole new global protocol, but I've kind of read some stuff here and there about it, or, kind of like, just like you're doing here in the chat. And then I think I read somewhere, someone's like, well, that's dumb because it's like you're supposed to be taking power from the institutions, but now you're kind of like, those would be more like backing institutions. So anyways, I got to do a little bit more research on it on both sides of the playing field there to get a full scope on things. So yeah, I'll be pretty much looking for the moment for a catch up to about that target. So it's either market sell down to there, or as time progresses, we're going to see essentially this catch up to price. So that's basically what I'll be kind of first expectation there, based off of data after the data's been announced, so on and so forth. And that could change. We'll see. Because it's still 8:52. We still have quite a while till we get to market open. Let me check NQQQ. Obviously, too, once the market opens, we'll be able to start looking at market internal, so that can give us a little bit more of additional edge as we get into the morning. But obviously, pre-market, we can't really read the underlying equities unless we single-handedly go look at them. So that's kind of one of those things where you get a little more extra edge kind of going into the open once you start seeing somehow the underlying equities are moving in the market as well. Now that is probably one of the more smart things I've heard in a while. Decentralization is bullshit. All this tech is going to be implemented into our financial system and will be more centralized to track everything in real time data. Yeah, I'm actually. I mean, I basically. The idea of decentralization is great. See, I've always kind of had that twist on like blockchain, Bitcoin, all of this stuff has always been a Trojan horse to get us onto the digital network, right? So that was kind of one of my things back in the day was like, if government introduced the idea of digital currency, which is 100% trackable and basically makes you even more of a slave, and imposes, far greater tyranny, it would be extremely hard for the public to get on board. But if you, basically create crypto in a way that's decentralized and Satoshi Nakamoto, no one knows who he is, right? Decentralized, hero story, right? Middle finger to the big man, big brother. Then you could get the population on board quicker, but then you pull the old bait and switcher Magoo. So that's always kind of been the back end for me. That's probably, and I honestly, I see as far more likely that, we won't really see decentralization, and unfortunately, and again, we're just probably going to move more towards like global digital tyranny. There's ways around that, but nobody wants to do that, unfortunately, and you're not even really, so. But anyways, yeah, so that's only because, I've just, for as long as I've been alive and the things that I've witnessed, it just really never seems to ever go in the favor of the people or, really the best interest of the people for prosperity or freedom or economic stability. A lot of those things. It just always seems like it slowly gets degraded away. So until I kind of see a change in that trend, it's hard to think otherwise in that regard. We'll see how it all plays out, though. Yeah, I've also seen the thing where, everyone talks about it was a CIA that created Bitcoin, and then there was some guy, I forget, it was close to, hold on. I don't know it. Like, it's just these quick things I read, but somehow there was like a name that was very similar to Satoshi Nakamoto, but it was like backwards or something in like the original talks about it. Also, I think the original talks for cryptocurrency were first brought on board by the Central Intelligence Agency. Again, those are the nutty deep dives. I'm not going to get into all that, but there are some things out there regarding that. So, real quick, AlgoBox, use code ProTrader for huge discount. Yeah, I guess if someone wants to use AlgoBox in this dude's code, feel free. Cheers. So yeah, anyways, what we're looking at here, this little target on the screen, again, that's a 1 minute counter trend / potential data support catch up, right? So let's take everyone that's trading data, all of the YouTubers streaming data right now, including myself, futures traders, everyone in everyone's chat room trading, and they're long the market, or maybe they're short the market. I don't really care. But let's just say everyone that's been long biased the market off data. So far on the 1 minute scale, I would say basically, the price coming down to here will screw over everyone because most people didn't catch the bottom. They didn't get the very bottom. They probably didn't get the middle because of how fast that moves. So they're probably somewhere in the middle to the high side of this, right? So if you bring the price down to here, you pretty much stop them all out. Now, that doesn't have to happen, right? But we just know based off of how data's move and looking at the 1 minute scale, the 1 minute volume weighted average price of the data today is down here at this target. So we use that as a counter trend target and also a 1 minute support catch up for the 1 minute long trade to stay intact from the data release. All right. So again, it's kind of one of those things. You have to, you'll see. The more you watch the stream with me, and that's all I can say is it's just I'll try to use as many words as I can to make it make sense. And that's the only way I can say it. It's a support catch up. That's always the best way to say it. It's a support catch up. So support catch up works in two ways. Either price falls to it, or generally it catches up to price. Right? So yeah, I mean, or maybe the other, again, there's, it hurts my brain thinking of all of it, but it's like, yeah, RBLX. Didn't RBLX just go down, or did it go up? Which was I looking at yesterday? There's a few things I was looking at yesterday. What was going? I said I was going to keep track of this one because I saw unusual options activity on Roblox yesterday too. So I think Roblox is targeting 65. So there was some unusual options activity targeting Roblox. I forget the date of the expiration, but there was that. Was it Uber that was going down? Uber was the other one. Some unusual options activity targeting, I think it was 56. But yeah, so anyway, as far as Roblox, I did see some unusual options activity kick off yesterday for like a whatever target I just said it was. 65 or 66, something like that. Yeah. Let's see, it's 9:01. Alright, can't really do a deep dive on Roblox for the moment. Yeah, I'm going to do a little more deep dive on that whole Ripple and all that scenario, because I know there's a lot of talk about that, and obviously there's more talk of it now that Ripple's gone up, so, people also believe that there's this narrative, right? So the narrative that they're teaching themselves, now that the price is appreciating in a way that they like, it's creating a confirmation bias as well, which is now why the bias has gotten to my attention, and now why I have to learn that bias, arguably. But, so it's been out there, but it's, again, it's same thing with Bitcoin going up. Bitcoin going up, then everyone believes, it's the holy grail and so on and so forth. So we're getting a lot of confirmation bias currently in the market across a lot of crypto markets, or a lot of the crypto market for that matter. MIGI? Since 2018. Yeah, you're well versed in that space then, like I said, I'm not going to sit here and act like I know everything about things that I don't entirely know about. MIGI, I have no idea. I could really, I don't know, let's see. It's in a downtrend. The downtrend started was that yesterday? No, the downtrend started on the 3rd of December and then tanked. So like right here where the vertical line is on the chart, Alt V, that's where the short-term downtrend starts. And then as a result, you got, I don't know, what is this? That's that was a 70% decrease. So I would say if you want to, play this, then you're probably going to want to wait for, well, you could have done a reversal trade here if you had reversal trade metrics planned out. And then if not, then at this point, you probably want to see this go into an uptrend before trying to join the long side. Do I think it will rebound? Bought the dip yesterday. Yeah, so you bought the dip and it's in a downtrend. So you've already done really well in that regard. If you bought this dip on MIGI, right? You're in a downtrend, so you bought a reversal bounce in a downtrend. So your strategy you're currently on, the strategy that you're currently on, whether you know it or not, is actually a counter trend bounce in a short-term downtrend. So really that's it. It's you hold your long in the hopes that it goes into an uptrend, you get a further gain, or you take the long, or you take what you've gotten off the bounce as you near where you could remain in a downtrend. So again, it's you broke down here. You broke down here. Reversal, oversold, counter trend long in a downtrend. So you could maybe flip it into an uptrend, but that just adds additional risk because you don't know. In that regard. So like even if we look at so you can even see here you transitioned the 15 back to positive. So like yesterday your oversold bounce. So I like the 15 and the 30-minute combo personally. So anyways, yeah, you reversed your long back to the 15 resistance, clear. But yeah, so I mean you've already done a pretty good job there if you really bought that low. So that's the way I would look at it personally. So yeah. Click here. Brad, could you let me know exactly where that's at? Link doesn't seem to be hyperlinked. Yeah, could you let me know where that click here is at? It could be on like an old one of our websites that hasn't been updated on some of the links, or if it's in the description too, just let me know and then I can correct it. Kind of have a lot of stuff out there still, which probably needs some updating, which definitely needs some updating. All right, so let's get back. Whoa, come on. Get off this highlighter. Get back into here. Are we going to be opening with a gap? That's another question. So we closed here. We will be opening with a gap. So that also makes the day kind of a little more interesting. Oh, boy. Oh, that's just my body cracking, fingers, neck, shoulders all at the same time. How are we feeling about NVTS, Fisher NVTS? I will take a look at NVTS real quick. Am I on X? Yes, I am on X, but I'm also suppressed on X. Yeah, so pretty much, yeah. But yes, I am on X. There might be a Twitter link somewhere. I'll just post it real quick, or I'll just bring up Twitter. So if there's anybody else on here that wants it, and here you go. If Bitcoin doesn't go to the price targets, though, I do have to delete my Twitter. That was the deal. So, if Bitcoin doesn't get to, the reality is my targets consistently get higher as it goes higher. So initially our targets were 110,000 to like 120. Now it's 120 to 135. So arguably it has to at least hit 120 right now, or else I have to delete my Twitter. So man of the people, right? But yeah, this is the Twitter. Cody Polifront, the analyst, which he is my dog. That's Cody. The reason Cody is the profile picture and not me is because I guess it doesn't really matter, and he's cuter than I am. So, and then this little gummy bear, he's cute. So yeah, that's the Twitter if you want to follow there. I post there pretty regularly, I guess. I pretty much just try to do foresight analysis here, and so on and so forth, just like here on the stream. I did, not on Midjourney, it was another one. I think it was, I forget which one I did, but I did do the gummy bears on it. Why am I suppressed? I have no idea. I have no idea why we'd be suppressed. No clue. But from individuals on the internet, they have said that even after being subscribed on Twitter and putting like notifications on and all this, that they won't be notified of my posts. They have to specifically go to my account, go into my page to see the new post. So, again, those are just those small little tactics that are used for suppression. And again, you don't really, unless you're on the internet for a long time and kind of understand how social media kind of platforms have worked in the past and work now currently, and kind of gone through those many years and changes, and you may not understand them. The same as someone like I, who have used social media in that regard for quite some time. And Brad, you're talking about that in the bio of the YouTube, in the yeah. So like, there's Randy right there. Randy's always kind of followed and hung out with the analysis and stuff that I provide. And he goes, "It's true. I never get notified." Again, it's the same thing with YouTube too. So yeah. So like, once Elon took over, he's like, "Now I get your notifications." So again, there's these little things that those social media companies will do to prevent some content from kind of getting to the main dashboard, if you will. All right, what time is it? 9:10. This is probably a good time for me to go refill the coffee before things get too crazy. So again, guys, do look at the title of the video. Again, the title of the video, generally, I try to make it like kind of a generalization of the market and then kind of the narrative for right now. So stock market today, still a VIX catalyst day because the VIX is at an important trend, and the market is still in a buying operation. So even with this down move and that sell move yesterday and into today, the market is still in a buying operation and the trend is still positive. So, for the past 2 weeks that we've been streaming, so for the past 2 weeks that we have been streaming onto YouTube with you guys, we have never changed the narrative, and the narrative for the past 2 weeks here on my stream is that you're just long bias trend market. And if there's a reason to shift to bearish, I will let you know. So the title isn't changed. The title doesn't say bearish. The title doesn't say sell signal. So generally, the titles of my video will always be the narrative, or at least I try to have them be the narrative for the market trend right now. So 2 weeks you've been on stream, 2 weeks the narrative is the same. It's a long bias market until that changes, and it hasn't changed yet. And yesterday, again, we started to potentially start the discussion of, well, maybe because the VIX was giving some signals of volatility increase, which so far this morning it shrugged off. So the buy signal persists for now. All right, cool. Then I will. I will check that out. I appreciate that, Brad. Actually, I'm gonna go do that right now. Well, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab a coffee and then I'll be right back on with you guys. Be back soon. Five 609 11 609 And then also too, real quick, just an FYI. I mean, I haven't talked about it yet, but We also have a long target for the market up to about, let's see, on the on SPY, it's about 609 or so, right in that area for the moment. And then let's see over here. And then QQQ5. Is that right? Yeah. Guess so. Alright. So again, these are kind of some targets. So we have our, volume weighted average price of today's data announcement. So pretty much as long as the market's above, the data is still positive, market's still in a buy signal. So that's our pullback, retrace, 1 minute support catch up. Our pretty much continuation of the long will target up to about 609.01. And then I got to wait for the market to open to get some new, potentially new, it wouldn't be potentially, but yeah, some other price targets as well. So also need the market to kind of open to get some other ideas started, but those are two for the moment. Check on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's still doing Bitcoin things. Speaking of, how did Ethereum react to all that yesterday? Huh, yeah, it got whacked too, pretty much. Is that right? It just doesn't seem right. That is so weird. What? Huh. That is so odd. Yeah, I see what you're talking about. The click here. It's like all of the links were just, I don't even know, like discontinued or taken out. That is so odd. Who knows? But I'll, thank you. I appreciate you pointing that out. I'll get that fixed up. Yeah, you can't trade. You can't trade primarily on MACD. It just won't work. I mean, you can. I think you should use it. I mean, I use it on something. I mean, I use it on market internals for sure. Even the SPY, QQQ, just in general, right? It definitely has value, but it's not going to be a be-all, end-all. Mac isn't going to give you targets. Mac can give you momentum and certainly kind of transition and little timing, but Mac will not give you price targets or expectations. It can help you with bias when things may be positive or negative, and an idea of momentum. But it won't help you figure out how far something can go, where something might go. It can't do those things for you. But it could tell you if what maybe you're thinking is right, so on and so forth, as far as momentum goes. Oh, my neck. Oh, not good, not good. Oh, by the way, so not that I didn't have it on. So again, you can see we're already doing what I was talking about on the NASDAQ market. So again, if you look at the SPY, we haven't reset the volume weighted average price, but if you look at QQQ, we've already done it. So partly I would say, a lot of the bounce is being, even on the SPY, right? So this SPY, like this bottom here, you've already seen, I would say is kind of being contributed to the long that was developed on the QQQ. So arguably the market is kind of working the QQQ market right now, right? And you're not seeing, so, that just tells me that this bounce right here is because of QQQ off QQQ, right? So you can see the same strategy there, but we're just, one of it's being applied more effectively on another market right now as opposed to the one that we currently have on the screen, and that can happen at times, but so. And now I have a bunch of these random Q things I shouldn't have done that. That was dumb. Don't need to do that. So the Qs kind of create that last little mini dip and bounce. Obviously, market is still in the long kind of scenario, holding up, that is. We got 921. We'll see what the market internals look like going into the open, so on and so forth. That would be nasty if we could get Bitcoin into the 4-hour target just because. Might be asking for a little bit too much after such a big shakedown, but so yes, good morning. Hopefully everyone's having a good Friday so far. I mean, I guess really the day's just started. It's kind of hard to have a great Friday when you're just, well, not true, because, if you woke up, then it's already a great day, right? But, yeah, I guess you can't have done too much about previous day. I was going to say, we even got some targets for the market all the way down to like 517 on the NASDAQ. What about the SPY? SPY has targets even down to 603. So at some point when the market wants to give up, we'll go get that. But, that's hasn't happened, obviously. It's going to be hard to do it unless the VIX is in a buy signal or the market would have to enter a sell signal. But I think the price of that would be too far down. What did I just say? 603. Well, to get 603, we would have to go into a downtrend, but the sell would start well ahead of time there. Okay. And then we're even going to add a secondary target down here as well. Dean, did you ask me about that? You did. Meta. Hey, Connor, would you please look at Meta? Do you think it would be close? Well, Do you think it would close red or green today? You know, I will say I don't ask myself that question very often in the sense, will it close red or green? So I can't say like that's my greatest area of expertise, saying something's going to close green or red for the most part, but I will take a peek. So it's hard to say. That's a tough question. My mind first goes to market internals, basically like they're gonna have to perform well today, but currently the trend is positive. I would say if the volatility index, for whatever, I would probably pay close attention to the volatility index. I have no idea if it's going to close green or red today. I really could not be able to tell you that because so much can change. But I would first look at the volatility. I would probably pay attention to the volatility, and even that's probably not going to do you much good because the volatility index is already broken down this morning. So I was going to say if the volatility index breaks out, then maybe you could expect it's going to close red. Because if the market on the VIX breaks out, it's going to be hard for the market to be really bullish. And then you would probably see a drag on all stocks. So there's a scenario where you could definitely say it's going to be a red day. And that would be if the volatility index broke out and had a buy signal. But that kind of failed earlier, so it would have to do a lot to get back to positive. Otherwise, the market's just going to have a bad day, or Meta's just going to have to get cooked on its own. So there's nothing that I could really foretell is so obvious that I'd be like, yeah, it's gonna have a bad day. It's more likely it's actually going to stay green today, to be honest, and that's just because, again, the VIX isn't in a buy signal and the market isn't in a sell signal. So realistically, the market's still positive. So unless Meta's just going to have a bad day on its own, the market currently is more of a long bias market. So unless that changes, it's easier for stocks to go up. So it would just have to have a bad day on its own at this point. So I'm going to probably lean more on it's going to have an okay day. We'll see if I'm right. Who knows? Because I'm basing that the market's probably going to have an okay day. And that's simply because the trend is positive. Now, again, markets can kind of do what they want within, some rules, but it's not like the market's bearish right now. So unless the market just tops out, rolls down, has a bad day, and something changes, then the upside is still theoretically more favorable. And then also, if you look at the trend of Meta's trend is also positive. So I would start being nervous of more of harsher pulling back, or the potential for it, if the price was below 604.88. So I don't necessarily think in terms of a green day or a red day. I'm thinking in terms of like, where's the trend and what keeps it positive. So right now, Meta over 605.38, the trend's still positive. So it's like, in theory, you could see it still go down to here and then still basically just be positive and just shake off that pullback, right? Vice versa, that's the other thing, is the trend's the over-under. So it's like right when you get down to here, that's the do or die. It's like, okay, is it going to hold trend, or are we going to start flipping negative? Right, so this is where you would see cliff, or you see hold and bounce. I don't want to say cliff. That's not entirely true. It could cliff. See, like back here. But, positive. Bounce, hold, under, a little choppy, down, and like that. So right now you're still over that, so that's okay for the time being. The other thing too is that I will as far as being, say, like markets in a buy signal, so you're going to stay on the long side, like that works until it doesn't, right? The market's eventually going to top and it's eventually going to roll over and it's eventually going to go down. Vice versa, if something was going down, it was in a sell signal, right? I'm like, well, it's bearish because it's in a sell signal. Eventually it's going to bottom and then it's going to go up because that's just naturally what happens. So it's like, no matter what, if you're following, say, the trend system that we're just pretty much always talking about, like eventually that will fail, right? So though it's easy for me to sit here and go, yeah, market's long bias and it's probably going to have a good day, the market could still do the opposite, right? Because eventually a trend has to change. So it's like that narrative will work until it doesn't, because trends always change, especially in the short term. But, you know, by saying that, you know, by saying, hey guys, the market's long bias, the market's long bias, the market's long bias, it's not bearish, we've been on the right side of the trend since November 20th, right? So, you know, my analysis here wouldn't tell you guys you should be bearish the stock market and all that, since back to the, you know, we would have said, hey guys, it's time to be bearish the market and watch more bearish. Like during this whole drop, I don't think I wasn't streaming onto YouTube, but during this whole drop, like, hey guys, the market's bearish, this is a gap down, it's bearish, you should be bearish. And then back here is where we said, all right, you got to start watching bullish. And then we've been on the narrative of your long side of the market and still are, because again, we haven't changed. So at some point it will change. It just hasn't, you know. So anyways, market open. Let's get back to where I need to be. Sorry about that. Get in here. All right, let's pull up SPX because we're going to target the SPX 161 off the gap. So we're already moving that way, and we already hit our long target for SPX. Sorry, it was really quick. But again, like I said, we're going to have a gap up today. So we're going to run gap and go or gap up targets for the SPX. So whenever we have a gap up, we're always targeting 161. Same thing with the gap down. So the SPX has already hit its long target for the day. Again, it's kind of like an algorithm just automatically does it in the first place. Not always, but pretty much that. Let's also get to here because I need to do it here. Would you work, computer? Jeez. We already got the long target for SPY. Not quite, but pretty much. You can see we gapped up. And we've almost got 161. So it looks like we're going to be going for that 161 target there on SPY. Very possible. Again, I'm always more of a fan of the SPX. SPY can always kind of be a little lackluster in terms of this strategy, but you get the point. All right. Why is that all goofy? Hold on. Fix that up. Again, you can see we actually shied see how, so this target would actually be right there now. So we've kind of shied that VWAP. It was 607.34 was the price. The VWAP is 607.25. So kind of a shy there, not quite, but still tells us that the trend is positive since the data announcement. So we haven't really stopped I would say we haven't really stopped anything out from the data, anything like that. If we look at Bitcoin, just an FYI, remember we have Bitcoin with, move here, kind of targets into this box. So we haven't gotten there yet, but getting ever so closer. All right, back to the SPY. Bring this back like this. Oh, did I delete my fib? How did that even happen? No. I mean, I must have. It's not there anymore for some reason. But it's there. Oh, I see why, because I didn't pull it over far enough. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. All right, so we got our long target there on the 161. Now, I was going to say we have targets even up as high as 609.11 today. So I would say to you guys on the stream, the first long target's been achieved for the gap and go 161 for the overnight impulsive move. So this current long you're seeing, I know it doesn't look crazy. It's been 1, 2, 3 candles, 3 1-minute candles to get the long target, one long target today. Now, I know that we didn't really talk about that target on stream, but that's also because the target is derived based off the gap that's created overnight, which is not solidified until market open. You can get estimates, but those can always change until the market opens. All right. And then also, whenever there's a gap, I'm always doing that strategy anyways. So if you see a gap, you can just know in the back of my mind, that's probably what we're looking at. Okay. So we could say here, real quick, that the pullback to 1 minute volume weighted average price support catch up target failed. We didn't quite get it. It shied it. And that happens at times. But what is the up, right? So we have the downside pullback target, but then also you have the what? The upside targets for your gap and go, and then also some other targets that are based off of Brandon's strategy, which would be that secondary target. So my business partner, Brandon, a lot of stuff that he uses, they could arguably be looking at up to like 609s today, or so on and so forth. But let's also check the Qs, because the Qs arguably has even as high as, 524.45. And then also, side note too, remember we talked about the Qs and the volume weighted average price and how they're using the QQQ market and they're respecting the volume weighted average price. So there it is again, going from data, volume weighted average price of data, and then volume weighted average price of data again into the open and then boost into a long. So effectively, the long bias trade is still intact from the data announcement today, both on QQQ and or SPY. We have not breached a volume weighted average price that I think is significant enough to really, really screw over everyone on that setup. Sorry, I haven't been looking at the YouTube stream chat for a second here. Good morning. So, again, long targets, first long target is achieved. Let me bring up my market internals. I haven't looked at them. It's been kind of a fast open. Well, market internals are, they kind of have a little bit of a roll to them right now. So if you get a slight pullback, which is pretty much already happening. But right now the FANG are holding up pretty good. So the market isn't really, again, it's not bearish. It's not blow your face off bullish, at least yet. Could change. All this could change. The FANG look good. So I'll bring it over just so you guys kind of have your own visual for the time being when I'm reading these things. Again, you can see since the open, the only thing really working up is the FANG, along with a little bit of the NASDAQ 100. Aside from that, everything's just pop to slight roll. So for the long to persist easily, you're going to need the market internals to change around back to bullish on like the SPY, NYSE, and NASDAQ. Or you're just going to need the FANG to just straight rip face here, or else things can slow down, which they already have, right? You can see we boosted into a long, 1, 2, 3, 4 up, and then 3 red, as those market internals kind of shrug off that open and roll a bit. Hence why when we run the gap and go long system and we oh, by the way, the SPX hit the 261 extension of today's gap. So that's why we look for that initial 161, that initial 161 SPX, that initial 161 SPY, because, it's like you're not looking for the market to go too far. So it's like an attainable target type thing. So, essentially our long target on the the SPY, I kind of moved it around. It might not be perfect, but it was basically here, right? That little bullseye target. So from the open, you had 607 up to 607.91. So you had about 60 cents up to that target. I know it's only 60 cents, but that is currently what the gap system long target provided. It provided 60 cents. It just is what it is, right? So it's not like that was just that. Some days it could be $1. Some days it could be $2. Some days it's only 30 cents. It just depends on how that gap is created. And then, you just kind of go based off that. Good morning, Lacey. Happy Friday to you. Didn't say that before. Got it. Thanks, boss. Cheers, Dean. No problem. Fish, I'm sorry I didn't get to that question there. It's just kind of right in the heat of the moment with the market open. I got a fib on the SPY daily 161 at 609.70ish with yesterday's candle. Perfect 50 bounce. So you're using daily candle fib SPY, so you got a 50% retrace there. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah. Rock on, brother. Rock on. No, that's good. So, yep, looking for squeeze on a Force Up Friday. I mean, it's definitely got the Force Up Friday kind of vibes right now. So, we'll see. Again, you know, the market is not bearish. We're in a buy signal. And just this morning, the volatility index did break down what could have maybe pulled the market back. So, there is nothing favoring the short right now in the big picture. I don't even want to say big picture. That's kind of dumb. But there's nothing really favoring the short in the moment. So, yeah. You have a gap and go, or I don't say a gap and go, but you had a gap up. Data was, you know, treated as positive. The VIX is not over a trend that would dictate the market should pull back on its own. The market itself is not in a bearish sell signal. The market internals on the FANG are currently going up. We don't, so it's like we don't quite have everything lined up for some sort of big selling move. So again, yeah. Let me double check some stuff on the VIX real quick. Isn't that again? Side note, Bitcoin obviously did not get to the 4-hour long kind of press there. Target got really close, but currently getting a little bit rejected at, I think, our currently getting rejected at our 30 minute, which is pretty common. So it's not like this shouldn't be happening, right? So we're just whoa, where'd you go? Bitcoin back. So again, we're taking Bitcoin. Bitcoin is retraced the 30 minutes. So 30 minutes getting a little bit of its 30-minute test, a little bit of rejection, totally normal. Essentially, this can pull back a little bit. If we shrug off the 30-minute, then we'll track down the 4-hour next, etc. But yeah, it's not that it really even matters all that much that Bitcoin gets into here. It's just kind of an expectation of something that can happen, right? Same thing with the market eventually countering back to the 30-minute trend like that. So anyways, it's a small update there. Again, the market internals they're a little lackluster here. Not holding the greatest. The only thing that's really working for us this morning are the FANG names. So we basically need the FANG to continue holding well here to basically keep the market up. Yeah. And then if you can get the rest of those guys to chill out, turn around a bit, then the market can pick back up again. Again, real quick, let me bring up the QQQ, right? So if we look at the QQQ, you see how the QQQ is already pressing into a new high? Well, it did there for a second. All right, if you look at, again, look at the formation on the FANG. Up, 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 right? But look at the formation on the SPY issues, down. So then when you look at the SPY, you'll see why it's kind of more lackluster. So that's the simple divergence you're seeing there. The issues across the S&P 500 market are not performing as strong as the FANG name, and since FANG is a stronger contributor to the price reflection on the QQQ, you're getting that kind of boost up quicker on the QQQ. It's pretty straightforward. So, you know, I would just say since market open, you've probably seen 4 or 5, I mean, well, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've seen like 5 or 6 different strategies applied all on the same day, all in one go of things to help read this market. Right. So when you think about, you know, your toolbox and what you use, I mean, essentially today I've probably used anywhere from 6, 7 different, you know, strategies, markets, so on and so forth to kind of get an idea of how we can move the market right now today, and arguably why it's kind of looking the way it's looking and doing what it's doing. How we've gotten price targets, expectations, bias, and then also momentum in real time based off market internals, things like that. So that's, you know, on average how much you might be deploying on any given day to get a good idea of how these things might be moving for you. Again, real quick, let's take a look at the QQQ. See how QQQ is just absolutely busting a move? Again, where's the target? Right here. Getting absolutely yankied and spankied. Okay, but again, you see how it's cranking and banking to the upside? Again, looking at your market internals. All right, look at the FANG. The FANG is just absolutely spanking, right? FANG, spank, QQQ, boom, right? But S&P 5 issues down, SPY just not doing all that great, right? So there's our QQQ long target hit on the day. So there you go. If you get a little, I'm not going to call it, sometime you might get a little bit of resistance in this area, but again, the market's pretty strong. If anything, you might build a watch for some scalping, but just don't get crazy about it. Okay, looking over at the SPY. The SPY is starting to pick up now. So basically what we want to see is we have the QQQ. The QQQ hit the long target. So either we want to see the FANG continue to persist and then the SPY will kind of keep going. Or what we want to see is we really just want the FANG to keep doing well because then everything goes easy. But what we'd at least like to see is a little bit of a turnaround on the S&P issues here and the NYSE issues here. And that can kind of help lead the SPY up to its target, right? Its target here is like 609. So for us to get to 609, we kind of want to see either the FANG continue to blow up or we want to see a turnaround on those S&P issues, and that will kind of help this move along on its next breath, right? Because a lot of the move that's been going up on the SPY today is a lot of it's built off the back of FANG. So we may need some of those S&P issues that are lagging right now to pick up to further that last push to get that target, or we're just going to do it all based off the FANG. Again, I'll put a little horizontal line here, but they're about like 609, 609.10, SPY, target. You guys get the point. Should happen any moment here. Because someone's probably just going to absolutely just slam market order and just poof it up there. Watch. I have no idea. I'm just joking, but... Well, the SPX is probably, yeah, the SPX is at a 361. Interesting. So we got the 361 extension now. Now we're probably going to, I don't want to say we're going to get 423, but if SPY completes up to its target, that'd be a little bit much there. We'll see. We'll see how things prevail here sooner than later. Let me just double check, make sure it's accurate. It is, yeah. I mean, that's pretty darn close to target, but we'll still probably get the live tag. I mean, I always say that I'm like, oh, we're close, but then it just usually ends up happening anyways. But either way, I would say most of our early morning long target potential expectations on the day are pretty much complete. So we'll say that most of the fun initial plans are all complete now. So thumbs up. Cheers. QQQ. Yep. Holding strong. Let's go take a peek at the market internals, because and like I was saying, like, remember I was like, oh, the Qs might have a little bit of a pullback here. It's all based off of the market internals, right? And I'm like, well, just don't really worry about that much. And again, the main reason why is, like, realistically, look at the market internals here, right? They're just screaming to the upside. So there's no way the Qs is going to pull back right there unless those turn around. But as the SPY gets into its targets and we start seeing maybe a little weakness, we might see a little bit of a scalp short, something like that. That's the only really next thing I could foresee is maybe we chill out on the FANG names, we get a little pullback, something like that. But again, you're picking at peanuts in comparison to the long expectation on the day, right? So this is what happens. The market blows up, and after it's gone for so long and people miss the long, then they're like, well, it's got to turn around at some point. It's all short, so they keep shorting, and then they get pushed out, and so on and so forth. So, Go on, SPY. Go get it, baby. Go get that target. Go get it, buddy. Go get it. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. Actually, it's really not a ding, ding, ding. It's close, but it's not a ding, ding. It's close, but it's not a ding, ding. There is a ding, ding. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, ding, ding. Whoa, crowd goes wild. Crowd goes wild. And that's it. And that is how you predict the largest globally traded ETF in the world, ladies and gentlemen. Cheers. Let's see how much that was, too. So we'll use a good old Chat GPT for this. Where is that at? Chat GPT. Chat GPT. Where'd the stock market open today? The stock market opened at about $607.43. Stock market opened at what did I say? 607.43 today. I had projected the SPY could increase to prices of $609.02. What market cap increase would that be for the day? So let's see. So ChatGPT, based on its calculations, is saying that was about a $1.7 billion increase for the market today. So this random Joe Schmo on a YouTube stream was able to help you guys and myself identify that the market had potential to increase by 1.732 billion market cap for the day. That's pretty cool. I like that. Oh, no, no, no. We can't review that one. That's, it's out there. It's there, but no. That one's more of, I don't want to say it's my strategy now too, obviously, but my business partner Brandon, that's kind of based off of his stuff too, so won't be giving that out because that's obviously his jam. But yeah, that's one of them. So one way, but someone here probably could probably do it. Actually, no. If you Crypto P, if you go to let me get his YouTube. Let me get his YouTube for you. It's definitely on his YouTube. If you go through his YouTube, you will see that. I just don't want to kind of be, touching too much on all his jam. But let me get you his YouTube, and he will. It's definitely covered in some of his videos at some point. I don't know if it's specifically titled, but he's definitely in there. 1 second. Type. I don't know if I can I say? Does this work? I wonder if I can post a link here. I feel like it doesn't work, but let's see. Maybe it does because yeah, it does because I own the stream, or I'm the host. That works. So there's his YouTube. That's my buddy Brandon's YouTube. He works with me, and obviously this is pretty much what you just saw today, guys. That little spiel of, hey, look here, look here. That's exactly what we do in the paid subscriptions every day. Like, basically what you're seeing here is what we do in paid service stuff. That's it, So pretty much our main objective is to hopefully be as accurate as we can be, as detailed as we can be, in foresight analysis, what can happen before it happens, because that's really what matters. And then also trying to be able to guide you in the right direction along the way, help you make some trades, whether you want to trade it, learn it, however. But that's generally what you can expect on our paid stuff too. But I'm just spending the time here for the past 2 weeks with you guys because it's fun. I do really enjoy being on YouTube. It's a good time. So, yeah. I really wish they would invite us on the CNBC stream to provide this analysis, but we might just break the internet at that point. So I don't know if they want us to do that. NVTS. Let's take a peek. Let's take a little gander. Regular trading. It's in a pretty solid uptrend. Let's look at this real quick. Where is my stuff? There you are. Thank you. Not even really that overbought. That's kind of interesting. Coming into the weekly. I don't know, man. You are coming into a weekly 50 SMA. So it's kind of one of those scenarios where if the market breaks out the weekly here, you could be onto the start of a little bit of a weekly breakout, weekly push, vice versa. If it's not, then, But I would honestly just kind of let it work for the moment. Yeah, I mean, do whatever your heart desires. But in terms of I would say, trend, you have flipped the daily positive. You're flirting with the weekly. That could definitely, I mean, it can have resistance, sure. But, let's look back here, right? You see what happens? You flip the weekly positive. You could be on a weekly long. Now, this is the first kind of move into it, which means, it usually has to figure itself out. So there's a good chance you'll even see like a back test of the weekly, whether it be, shorter or not, but even a move back down to like here, because that's the weekly. So you just broke it out. And a lot of things like to confirm breakout. So if you don't just keep going, then you're most likely you're coming right back down to 411 because that's just what's going to happen. So, again, I don't know when you bought it, what you're trying to do with it. There's no shame in making money. There's no shame in selling early. There's no shame in missing gains. You can always lock some and then just let some ride for fun. however you want to do it, you know what I'm saying? Look at our friend, good old Bitcoin, did the 30-minute resistance top, pick back up, arguably moving into that 4-hour target destination, which again is going to be from 99,848 to 100 I don't even know, whatever thousands. Whatever number there's on the screen. Whatever the blue box says, that's what it is. Oh, darn it. Stupid freaking highlighter. It's like I like it, but I hate it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Jellybean? Oh, alright. Totally forgot here to do some 1-minute stuff with you guys. But we already did it. We already retraced this one. That's late. That's kind of, dang it. Freaking missed it. Should have known better. Should have known. I was going to say there was a perfect, like, hindsight 2020 is always perfect, but it's just one of those things I was talking. I wasn't really thinking about it, but I was supposed to run the breakout 1-minute retrace strategy there, which would basically help us identify this kind of the destination of that initial pullback, right? So right now we've pulled back the market to the 1-minute breakout. So that is the pullback target for now, right? You see how we're boosting back up again and just kind of got, and I think was data coming out at 10 something. That might've been some data. Hold on. Again, I'm always kind of like a little late. I'm always talking, but yeah, we just got some data, 10 a.m. I think. But yeah, you see how the market just kind of like pulled back right to that little green VWAP, then it got picked back up again. So that's kind of that first initial retrace target after that top that's been put in, et cetera, et cetera. Pretty much a repeatable strategy. Yeah, consumer sentiment. Yeah, I was right. I was at 10. So again, be careful. This is where we got data coming in. So far, it's basically creating a bearish engulfing 1 minute. I'm trying to get to my market internals just to read those real quick. But yeah, oh, it's right here. The FANG is still holding up beautifully. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. The short is not, I mean, I'm just like, you know, I'm not saying we're supposed to be bearish and short in this market. I'm just saying, like, if you are shorting, the market internals on the FANG are not helping you out one bit at all. 0 bit. Now, if that changes, that's a different story. But right now, they've just been holding so strong. That's why you're seeing the QQQ just keep press, shake off those pullbacks, press. The freaking FANG are just booming this morning, which, let's see who it is. Apple doing well. Nvidia doing okay. Microsoft doing okay. Google spanking the market. That's where a lot of this is coming from, Google today. Amazon, that's part of it. Amazon just cranking and banking. Meta just pounding. Also, Dean, you asked me about Meta. There you go. Congratulations. I had no idea if the day was going to be green, but I had to stick to the long bias, and that was because the market's in a buy signal. It's not in a sell signal. The VIX just broke back down into a sell signal today, so volatility got shrugged off today, this morning pre-market after the jobs numbers. So unless something random was going to happen that we could not foresee or that the market isn't already telling us, then you have to remain on the bias of long. And hell, I don't know, who knows? Market, you know, there could be a nuke dropped by Russia in the next 30 minutes. The next, you know, the whole market goes up in flames, right? So for what it's worth, take it with a grain of salt, I guess. Bitcoin, I was gonna say, you better get into that target. Don't you miss that target for us, okay? We nailed the market. Now we got to get Bitcoin today, which we kind of have already got it because the 30-minute is a target, but you know, we would like to see the 4 hour. So if there's any market makers in here that have billions of dollars that can, you know, manipulate Bitcoin up just a little bit higher to that target, so we can just say ding, 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 then that would be great. So if you can do that for us, just do it, please. I use the 50 SMA. I don't use the EMA. ESAU. Yeah, I don't know. ESAU. Let's see. I guess I'll take a quick peek, do a quick little rundown. Low volume, liquidity, regular trading. Yeah, I mean, realistically, in the short term, it's not really uptrending. It's just kind of hanging out, which that could change, right? So the uptrend start, which this is uptrending, the moving average would be just buy high, sell higher, Santa rally on deck, baby. Yeah, so basically 296 would be the start of your micro, I don't call it micro, but short-term uptrend. Again, you can see it flipped bearish back here, stayed down, then you got bullish pop here, where once you flip the 50 SMA, you did from 50 SMA start point, you did about 20%. So from the last 50 SMA long break, market increased about 20% there. So you had about a 20% gain on that uptrend start. Right now you're below. So in the short term, it's not really a buy. I don't know anything about the stock. Currently, the standard deviation on the weekly's downtrending, the daily's downtrending. The weekly, you're below the weekly 50 SMA. So here's another good one. If you look at the long term, you're below the weekly 50 SMA. If you go back here and you look at the long term, when you get above, you can go into a longer term uptrend. So right now you're theoretically in a long term downtrend. So the only thing you're really looking for would be short term uptrends, because if the long term's down, then your short trends will fail. If the long term is down, your short term trends will fail, right? So like back here, you had a short term uptrend start on this stock, and it goes up 23% and then fails, right? That's because this short term uptrend, they're playing the short term up and the long term's down. Now, if the long term was up, you'd be more likely to see the short term start an uptrend in a long term uptrend, and then it persist longer. So you have short term uptrends battling long term downtrends right now. So it's not as easy to be a long bias market participant on this market. Okay. So yeah, it looks like we got a little bit of a pullback. So clearly, I bet some of the FANG pulled back. Let's see. I could be totally wrong, but I bet that's probably the case. Where is it at? Yep. Oh, there it is. Okay, so your FANG finally got, which not finally, they already did. So kind of late to telling you guys, but see how we finally got a little bit of a negative momentum shift on the FANG right there. So that happened at 9:02. So, or wait, no. Like, yeah, 9:02 into 9:03. 9:02 into 9:03. Or wait, that's, sorry, 10:02 into 10:03. For some reason that, I don't know why, Thinkorswim reset my clock back an hour, and then I haven't really figured out how to put it back and whatever. But, so 10:02 to 10:03 is where we started getting a little bit of a negative MAC cross across the board with some of those FANG names. And so you can see here at 10:02 to 10:03, there's your pull. So as some of those FANG names started to give up a little bit, you got a little pullback there in Qs, which then helped kind of further the pullback on SPY. So if you look at the market internals here on Apple, so if you look at the market internals with like the SPY and, the NYSE, you can see that those have been trending down, and they've been down further than the FANG. That's why the short has been working a little bit better on the SPY as opposed to QQQ, right? Because a lot of those SPY issues and NYSE issues, they've already been weak. So as soon as the FANG starts to get a little weak, then your move on the pullback would be a little bit bigger than that of SPY or than that of Qs. And I'm just talking about market divergence there. But anyway, so yeah, it's not even that you're supposed to be extremely bearish. Again, it's just simply where you can expect these little pullbacks and things and so on and so forth. So market's just a long bias market. Cheers. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say on that front. You're just basically a long bias market until it's not. and we're not downtrending, and so yeah, that's that.
You gotta be careful.
You want a little bit of GSAT? Again, it's probably, I have no idea. Let's see. So the weekly is uptrending. So this had a weekly breakout back at $1.40. It's getting up to +3. So GSAT's getting a little bit high. It's getting into the +3, +4 daily. It would need some sort of bigger pattern breakout to happen, or else it's probably getting close to a top scenario. Yeah, I mean, you can kind of see this, like, this longer term, like, flag thing's been in development for however long. You would basically need that break for it to keep going. Otherwise, you're getting into resistance right now. I have no idea if it will. I know nothing about the stock. But I do know that the long-term weekly, that broke out at $1.40. So you're not at the start of a long-term uptrend. That's past you. You already started a short-term uptrend basically back here, and then had a retest of that uptrend here. So you're also extended from the short-term support. You're not at the beginning of a short-term uptrend. The short-term 1 minute still uptrending. So you're not at the start point of really anything. You might be at the start point of a little bit of resistance, if anything. But like I said, I don't know a whole lot. I don't know anything about the stock personally. I'm just looking at all these metrics real quick, and yeah. What is happening? Still resisting right around the 30-minute. Well, I guess that kind of makes sense because that's 30-minute, and then we just transitioned to a new 30-minute candle 11 minutes ago. That kind of makes sense. Oh boy. All right, let's. Come on, stupid computer. Let's have a little fun here. Stock market today. Or wait, I spelled that wrong. Figures. Today. Because the title of today's stream is, stock market. What is the title of today's stream? Something. Stock market today. Alright, we are non-existence. No, we don't exist. No siree Bob. Nope. Nope. Okay, so let's try the next symbol, which is this guy. VIX. Does that pick it up? Because so far we're typing out almost the exact title of our video. Non-existence. He does not exist. Live stream is not live. Let's try Catalyst. Who else is putting that? Phone call coming in 1 second. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. That didn't last long. I got a phone call and then I hung up. So even with Catalyst, it looks like. There we go. Finally. So you gotta type in stock market today hyphen or whatever that is dash VIX Catalyst before you can find that little guy. But we found him. You just gotta make sure that you type the exact title in before you'll find it for the day. That was weird. Alright, we'll bring back up the old Spy Daddy here. Dude, so many levels on the screen. I gotta take some stuff off. This is what happens throughout the day. My chart gets dirtier and dirtier as I apply the strategies to the chart when they make sense. So, like, I don't need that. I'm just going to take this off now because I don't really need that. What? There you go. Oh, they won't do anything. I have no idea. All I'm saying is when I tune into YouTube and I go to YouTube streams, I generally would like to join the stream of the analyst that tells me the SPY will go up $1.73 billion and hits it within like a penny. It's generally the stream I was trying to watch, but I'm not able to find that stream. I don't know. It's just a lucky guess today. I don't know. I have no clue. I have no clue who I rubbed the wrong way, to be honest. But anyone else yell at their phone/PC for a breakthrough? Oh, I was going to say, I did start seeing my stream glitch out for a second. I think we should be okay. Do. So remember just a little bit ago when we kind of said like most of the fun stuff is kind of done for the day. We've hit those targets, so on and so forth. So like I don't even need to have this up here anymore. That one's kind of taken off. Hold on, I got to double check something else here because that's a big one. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I actually tried to join whose stream. I tried to join some YouTube streams in the past, but I just like no. Anyways, it's all good. It's all good. Again, you know, if I was able to be on more consistently, maybe it'd be a different story. But you know, I mean, nowadays when it comes to kind of the financial, like stock trading, you know, streams, you know, most people want someone, you know, at least the streams. It looks that way, like YouTube and just the kind of the streamer and you know viewer population of the financial kind of industry wants someone, or the streams that are kind of there all day, online. You know, and that's arguably not something I've been able to necessarily provide also because I haven't ever been able to get a stream to work for the past couple years. So, you know, this is the first 2 weeks we've been able to stream back to back, pretty much ever for the past couple years. Yes, Steve, that's correct. I was lurking on the beginner trader stream. Yep. Yeah, I mean, I've known him since the beginning of time, really. So I was trying to hop on his stream and have some fun, but that wasn't able to. But I really do enjoy him. He's a good guy. We've chatted many times in the past about different strategies and things, and you know, either way. So yeah, good guy. I do really enjoy him, and I do enjoy his stream actually. Very down to earth guy, if you ask me. Yeah. So I don't really have much else, I guess, to say here. Wait a second. I mean, there's always something to say, but it's just, I'm just, you know, it's kind of like a broken record at this point. It's a long bias market. We're coming into the 261 of the QQQ around 526.34, so that would be kind of a bonus level target. Again, it's all the same stuff. Market's a long bias market. Nothing's changed. Oh, come on, shitcoin. You can do better than that. Well, this would actually be where the 30-minute tries to transition. Oh. So real quick, I guess there's about 45 of you guys in here this morning. Well, maybe not after that random drop, but yeah. Was curious. So did you guys get notified of the stream via YouTube? Did it pop up on your home page? Like, how did you actually have to come to the stream? Or you just knew to come to my page because I would be streaming today? So if you could let me know, that would be great, because I would like to know if you guys are being notified, not notified, if you're being presented it through kind of like features on YouTube, or if you just have to come here. Notified on phone, that's good. So at least some people's notifications are working at least. No way. That's awesome. Appreciate it, Fish. Appreciate it. Yeah, like I said, you know, I'm going to try to maybe incorporate some afternoon stuff. I know at that point most of the fun stuff's going to be kind of done, but I might try to incorporate some afternoon streams going forward, maybe a couple times a week, and just kind of have a set schedule for that, just to hop on for an hour or two. Nice. That's good. I'm glad that YouTube notified. That's great. That's good. At least they're doing their job. I like it. All right, so it looks like there's a good enough. It sounds like it's working, you know. A lot of people have always told me I don't get notified. That's good. Yeah, and granted, obviously, if you're on a little more consistently, it should kind of work that way. So, yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. What time is it? 10:23 on a Friday. No problem. Actually, speaking of, was it NVTS? Oh, what do you know? There goes your back test. Remember? Literally, I got to stop opening my mouth. Seriously. Like, oh yeah, it's just probably going to pull back right to there. Doink. I just gotta stop opening my mouth sometimes. You guys take it too literal. That's good. That's good stuff. SPX. The other thing too is SPX is getting kind of high on its intraday gap. You know, we're into the 361, 423. I mean, it's not like it doesn't mean it couldn't go higher. I'm just saying it's getting a little up there. And again, this is where you can see the 30-minute chart has kind of transitioned. I'm on a 1 minute, but we're using, you can see we basically used a 30-minute retrace level that then printed a bearish 30-minute candle after we kind of transitioned to that new candle. And as that market transitions on that 30-minute candle bearish, you can see there's where you can kind of see the formation change on the 1 minute from a higher high to lower low scenario, where again you can kind of see up, and you know it's all holding up. There's a pullback here and up, and then right here is where we go zoink. All right, so there's a little micro bearish transition at that peak. Oh boy. Oh. And again, if you guys are, you know, looking at this target here, right? This is still a target. It's just kind of a matter of when. Right now, what we're doing is we're basically just holding support on sort of the last leg / breakout area. I had this updated a little higher before. This was actually at the breakout, so that would help me, like, or literally right at the breakout, so I can get that kind of expected pullback area, right? And then once those breached a little bit, I figured we might be working off the bottom of here. So right now, we're just basically supporting the last breakout long press move on the market. And unless you were to actually, obviously, like, unless you go down, you don't go down. But, you know, this is currently where the market is holding support currently, right? So unless you're below that, you're just going to keep shorting into that low and getting pushed out and whatever. So, again, right now the market's still holding up. If at any point we're going to see a slide on the market, you're going to have to take out that support, and just not happening right now. Again, the market's strong, right? Even though, let's see if the market internals changed. I mean, it's not the strongest market, but the Fang name have really done the work today, and everything else is really just dragging. So this is also a situation where it's like, if at any point these other markets stop selling off and picking up, you'll just squeeze out the shorts that are trapped on this market high still. That's the crazy part. It's like, even though we've run up, none of the long press has even come from the advancing issues on the S&P, you know, or just in general. It's like the S&P issues and the NYSE, they're not, like, none of it's performing, right? None of it's advancing very well. So it says, if those bottom and go through a bounce, then that's just going to be like further fuel for the fire to push off the market again. So that's what I could foresee happening, is at any point these kind of slow down, start bouncing, and you're going to see the market continue grinding up, and anyone shorting this high gets pushed out. And when I say they get pushed out, it doesn't mean it's going to be like, wow, you know, it could be like, you know, whatever it wants to be, but just, I probably would be a little sketch on that top for the moment. On that note, I will be right back. I'm gonna get a little refill in the coffee, hit the bathroom. I can't foresay anything too exciting is gonna be taking place while I'm gone, but I will be right back. Okay, we are back. Good stuff. Now, I'm kind of curious. What are these other streams saying? Oh, they must have ended. Hmm. Hmm. Come on, Bitcoin. Come on, Bitcoin. We know once the 30-minute top gets taken out, if it does, obviously, that's an if, but as far as the transitioning goes, we should, again, boost up into this 4-hour target. So we'll put this little guy right there, and we're going to put this, where's the other one? Where's this guy? We're going to put this guy right there. And again, that's going to kind of be... It's kind of just up at this 30-minute. We gotta see if we can get through that guy. So that's where we transitioned. Right now, the markets are going to be trying its lower high scenario. But, yeah, we'll see. All right. Actually, I'm going to give this phone number a call back. I'll be right back. Okay. Welcome back. Should probably check one more thing. Oh, let me push this back over to, pump this back over here. Spotted. So basically, this is where that market is rolling into arguably that over-under support. Again, you have to take that out to really kind of get everyone who's bought into this top to stop out, right? So the only way we're going to be able to do that, it's going to come off the back of the FANG name, which everything else is kind of getting, again, the market is staying weak as far as some of the market internals. It's up to this FANG. The FANG is currently a little bearish. We kind of got a negative MAC across. We're kind of rolling, so we'll see. I don't know if the market's got it in it, but we might. That's not by any means a suggestion just to rail a short, but you know what I'm saying, it's creeping that way. So I'll bring this up because this is pretty much all it is right now. Oh, that doesn't work. Sorry. Right here. So these FANG, right? So you can see these are bearish. So these are going to have to stay bearish and trade bearish for the SPY to most likely go down here and take out that support. If not, you just get held up there. That's all it is. What do you know? Right there. Also, like what you see, this target here and these lines down here, this is also something we use for the CPI day very often. So when the CPI happens, you know, if it's a big print and blows up or blows down, we'll use this same approach on that day as well. Pretty common. I mean, that's just the amount of contracts that would, that someone is bidding or asking, someone to buy at any given time. Whatever number you see on the bid or the ask is just the amount, is what that is, of shares or contracts in that. Or if it was futures, it'd be futures. Well, those are still contracts, but yep. Again, you can, pretty clear there. Oh, dang, I zoomed in again. Again, a little bit of a green candle bounce on FANG, and you're just, again, it's pretty straightforward. You got a lot of shorts that are selling in this top, trying to get it to go down. Market's in a buying operation. Let's check some of the other names. Oh, there we go. So see... We're kind of starting a little bit of something, maybe. You see how the SPY have finally did a little bit of a bottom. A little double bottom action, couple green. It doesn't look like a lot. I mean, this is 3 green candles. You kind of want them to keep trending, but because if they keep trending up, right, we're gonna get this. We're gonna get this SPY move to kind of keep holding up and maybe even press out a new high. We'll see. Like I said, you're gonna need some. You're going to need these NYSE, those SPY issues. We're going to need some help across those markets, which they're starting to do it a little bit. And then, of course, you need the FANG to chill out and stop being a turd. Well, just stop going down, and you will get it. And these shorts are going to get... They're going to get tickled. They are going to get tickled. Hey, we had 60 people view the stream today. Let's go, baby. That was the highest we've seen in 2 weeks. So that's cool. That's cool. Bitcoin. Just still doing Bitcoin thing. Go on. Go get the 4-hour target. Don't be lame. Just go up. Go ahead and do it. Oh boy, so tired. Not really, but man, where's it coming from? Yeah, just chilling, just hanging out, just being a goof. You know, that thing's kind of bright on my face, but you know, makes me look super, super white. Come on, baby. Are you gonna do the old roll daddy or what? When's it gonna happen? You're just gonna keep holding her up. Probably keep holding her up. So far, no surprise there. Come on, JPM. What are you doing? Not a whole lot, really. Come on, JP. See, I was kind of watching JPM yesterday, kind of into the day, because obviously it started creeping the 50 SMA. I wonder if it was going to be strong enough to kind of trigger off a new long press. So far, it's just kind of moving like a little bit of a turd. Speaking of, what about MSTR? It must have gotten absolutely smoked. Oh, not really. That's right. I checked it this morning. Here's another. I mean, this is another kind of good one. Not want to say good one, but just a good example, right? So the other day, let me delete these. Yeah, the other day, just 2 days ago, we talked about the buy move that got triggered on MSTR, right? And so this thing pretty much, excuse me. This thing pretty much pumped like 20% up to 458. Yeah, about 20%. So that short-term signal created a 20% appreciation in the stock price in like a day. And then the following day pretty much tanked all the way back down to the 50 SMA. So that's something you got to kind of understand too. You know, when it comes to individual stocks, this is far more volatile, isn't as reliable, but still a good guide. But again, you had a market was bearish, then it transitioned right here to bullish, goes up 20% in basically a day, then sells all the way back off to the over-under trend support, 50 SMA, then bounce, right? So right now, MSTR is actually still positive in the short term, right? So that's what I always kind of think about too. It's like, you know, if you're going to do some short-term stuff, if you don't get in close to the 50 SMA and you get in, say, somewhere up here, then your risk is all the way back to support. Now, if it keeps trending out, great. But if it fails and has to back test, or it fails and then goes into a downtrend, that's the risk, you know? So something to keep in mind. You know, because I know I talked about it about a day ago, and then the following day it just tanks, right? So I know someone's like, oh, a great buy signal, right? Which, true, not the best buy signal, but remember, it had already pumped 20% from the initial break. And if you know that the pump can start here, and you also know that that's the risk of the back test, then when it falls all the way back down here and holds, it's like, oh, well, I guess it kind of makes sense. It just had a 20% pump, failed initially, and now we're back at over-under, right? There's actually another tactic that's pretty cool for that, but we'll get into that a little later. Hey, is it gonna break? Probably not. I'm just kidding, but good extended hours. There we go. So if you're lucky, you'll see some volatility kick off here for the SPY, and it brings it down, but I will say probably not. Probably not going to happen. Probably just going to get bought back up and push out everyone who thought it could break down. Got like a little 1 minute higher low on the S&P issues, so that's not helping. Nothing is really bearish right now as far as market issues. As far as the market internals, most things are actually kind of just like, actually kind of like bullish. Besides the FANG. The FANG really ran the market up today. The FANG's kind of rolling a little bit, so if we do end up kind of sliding, it's probably going to be built off the back of the FANG, because right now NYSE's got a small bounce to it. S&P issue's got a small bounce to it, so we're kind of like holding up in that regard. The MAC is still positive on the QQQ this morning. SPY's MAC is a little negative, but it's kind of to be expected. The issues aren't doing as well. Come on, Bitcoin. Come on, Bitcoin. Go get it, baby. Go get the target. Actually, those may have changed a little bit, so let's just double check, but probably not by much, if any. Come on, Bitcoin. I guess I don't even actually go. No, that's good. And that is actually, that one's wrong. There. And then I'll just double check this because the 3-hour comes in between the 2-hour was. Yeah, we might even do some sort of random 2-hour jazz. So we're even going to add this guy in there just in case. Come on, Bitcoin. Go and get it, daddy. Let's go, daddy. Come on. Pump. Pump. Oh, what do you know? Just another trap on the SPY. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Oh, boy. How's Microsoft doing? Or wait, it was Meta. I was Dean stock today. She's crushing, baby. She is crushing, dude. Crushing, dude. The pump stays alive. Here's another thing you could think of. Not that, and it's not that it's all going to be perfect, but like, let's just say, you know that today, or just in general, there's probably someone looking at Meta going, okay, so the market topped here, and then it did that, so that's maybe a head and shoulders, and then we're gonna create a left shoulder and short, or just in general, someone could have simply said, okay, like this is support, so if we break support, it's gonna go down, right? So think about think about like, chart structure and pattern trading for that matter. Someone could have easily looked at Meta and said, okay, like I'm going to short because I think we're going to break that low, and then support's broken, right? Meanwhile, when we look at the chart this morning, we pretty much say like, okay, so it could break down below the 50 SMA and enter a downtrend, but it hasn't, so it's actually still uptrending. So we don't, it's not like we looked at the market and went, oh, it's like this is support, so it's going to break down, or this is support, so it's going to hold here. We just simply go, okay, so since it's over the 50 SMA, it's still an uptrend. So it's just funny because, if you had tried to be bearish here, you could have simply waited like a little bit longer to see if it actually break down the 50 SMA, and then you'd have a better opportunity. Versus you short here and get blown out because it's still in an uptrend. Think we got the little break daddy on the SPY. Hey, there's our breakdown. Wait. Hold on, get back to extended trading hours. There's our breakdown. Pew. And now we're going to go obviously get these targets. So that would be T1 right here. I'm not going to draw a line, but we'll just do 2 targets. So that would be target 1 for that kind of counter slam down. And then, which it took a while, and then this will be, T2 down there. Okay. So if you do see like little 1 minute long pops here, totally normal. Granted, do be careful. You don't always want to catch falling knives, but again, that's kind of that expected breakdown target. So again, you see where the consolidation's at. We eventually take out the volume weighted average price of that, stop out everyone who's been buying this dip, and then bring them back down to basically the next target short / potential little bottom bound support. Rinse, repeat. Rinse, repeat. So how did that happen, though? So it looks like the SPY issues rolled over a little bit, along with a little bit of FANG. So kind of some SPY issues rolled, some FANG kind of rolled. So it finally kind of gave up that that bottom shelf support there and what have you. So yeah. So far it's looking pretty shiesty. At least the Qs are. Again, this is a situation right now where you can see all the MAC is negative on the FANG. So you have to kind of, as far as like a bounce goes, you kind of just have to let it, you can scalp these supports kind of like this. Like you could scalp that long, it's kind of how you use that. But it is slightly sketchy though. Because if you look at the Qs is kind of hanging down low. And, if this negative momentum persists, we're going to fall again. So I would be more on the side of even watching this continue down for the moment until like maybe we see the FANG slow down. And then if those start to get positive, maybe we're putting in a little bit of a bottom and it's more of a bounce that has some legs to it. But let me double check the Qs here too. So the Qs still have a little bit of room down to, say, 524.68, unless they're holding the breakout level 1, which would be there, which it kind of failed. So they might have a little more room down, but again, we're coming into that target on SPY. So we'll see. Again, the market isn't always perfectly straightforward. The risk I see is that the FANG continue to pull back and this drags down a little bit more. Man, you guys are a tough crowd. You really are tough. I mean, we help you. Market goes up to the target, then we have the pullback targets on screen, identify the current shelf that has to snap for it. We get these guys, you get those guys, and can't even get a thumbs up in here, man. Tough crowd. Tough crowd. Not even a kudos. Thumbs up. It's good stuff. Bitcoin. Come on, baby. Let's see. Thoughts on Bitcoin. Thoughts on Bitcoin. Grand scheme of things, $120,000 to $135,000 target right now. We got about 100 to 300 days left on the bull market before any sort of big top, I think, gets put in. Long-term sell targets right now, we're going to say it's about 50,000. Everything in the in between, that's what you're seeing on the screen. So like right now, our current targets for Bitcoin are the muscle and these two targets on the upside. That's kind of my next current target. The one prior to that would have been here. And I know it's kind of silly because it's like duh, if the market keeps going up, you're going to hit those. But basically our first kind of target for Bitcoin in this counter long is right about here. This is the 30-minute counter target. Now, if we can get through our 30-minute resistance, then we're going to look up to about 99,830 to 100,314. MSTR got hyped, overbought in the immediate. I think the MSTR market basically front ran the price of Bitcoin. There's the discussion that nobody knows how to price MSTR accordingly and blah, 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 right? So thank you, Oris. I appreciate that. So yeah, the MSTR market, there's a discussion that everyone has it priced incorrectly and that whatever, So basically the way I see it is we're in a situation where if you've been long the crypto market, you can stay long the crypto market. If you are looking to take on new position, you're taking on elevated risk right now because you're so far along in the bull market cycle that if the cycles repeat similar to the past, you are guaranteed going red in the future on your position. So if you bought Bitcoin today at 99,000, you will be red in like a year or so, or 2 years. You're going to see red, even if it goes up, whatever. So say you make 20, 30% on the upside from this point forward, you're still going red in 2 years, right? So that's the way I see it. I hope that's clear. You could be long right now. I think we still have upside. But I do foresee that you're at elevated risk now. Also, I will mention this. You guys know that my target for Bitcoin is 120 to 130,000 right now. It initially started at about 110,000. We hit a high, I think, of like 105,000 or so. Yeah, I will be back. I promise you I'll be back in the private chat tomorrow, Saturday. I'll be back Saturday for you, my brother. I promise you I will be back. Yeah, hold on. I want to emphasize that we are getting like basically Bitcoin is getting into. Oh, I'm deleting a bunch of. I guess I don't even really need it. I don't know, but let me take off this vertical line. That's what's doing it. So Bitcoin did get to, look at, you see how Bitcoin is almost at the daily? So we're getting there, right? So like here's the daily. Yesterday this was closer. Like yesterday this was a little bit lower. It looks a little higher today, but Bitcoin has gotten to 105,000 or 103,000 or whatever. The futures went to 105,000. But you can see we're getting to the +3 on the daily. So we're getting very close to like daily chart +3 resistance. If you ask me, I still think that Bitcoin is going to shrug off the daily chart stuff and it's going to go to weekly time frames. So that's 120, 130,000. In the event we start finding some sort of resistance at this 106 to like 116,000, that just tells me the daily chart distribution channel is causing some resistance. In the past, we've always taken out the daily and gone to the weekly. So unless this time is different, then we're going to 120 to 135,000. So again, unless this time's different, 120, 135,000. And that's probably going to be even higher. Those targets will be even higher next week. As long as Bitcoin doesn't get smoked or something random, right? So as long as Bitcoin just kind of stays up It doesn't even have to break out more. It could just basically hang out where it's at. And next week, we're going to have a higher target than 120 to 135,000. It could be at that point 124 to 140,000 or so. So anyways, I hope that answered the Bitcoin question for you. Coin. Yeah, so basically what I think is going to end up happening with majority of the market. So the way I see a majority of this market, coin, MSTR, GBTC. I have to check GBTC. I could probably speak a little too soon on that. But I pretty much foresee the entire crypto market. Let's not think. Let's just say cycles continue to repeat. They don't even have to repeat the same, but at least they say cycles repeat with even a 50% correlation, right? The cycles have repeated it's debatable. I guess I wouldn't really know, but the way that I see it and all the stuff I look at, I would say the cycles repeated with like an 80% correlation. So let's just say they repeat the same, very close. Then the way I see it is we're going to see Bitcoin run to 130, 120, 130,000. And either that will end up topping it, or it puts in a false top that then breaks out one more time, and you see a really euphoric push, and then the market tops. All right? And as a result, you're going to see coin go higher. You will see MSTR. Like I said, I think people got too excited on MSTR and they front ran it. That's why it's not really going up with the past week's move too much. And that's because I think people front ran, got too excited on MSTR and blew it up too quickly. So if you look at MSTR, look at coin. Coin has not reached this zone. So I foresee if we do the Bitcoin run and it goes up to where I'm thinking, then coin will reach its overbought stage. All right? Just like we saw with who? MSTR. So MSTR has already, hold on, it's populating. What? There it goes. So this looks a little different than it was, but you can see MSTR already ran up into its overbought location. And as a result, the market whacked it, right? So I think we had a situation with MSTR where it was, call it front running, call it excitement, call it what you want, but I think the market got a little ahead of itself on MSTR. So much so that it blew it up into a known resistance zone, prior to the underlying market doing the same. So now I see a situation where with Bitcoin going to our expected target, you'll see a situation where coin can potentially get up into 392 to 447. GBTC is going to go into 95 to 105, and those prices can change week to week, but for now that's what they are. 95 to 105. We still and if Bitcoin does do the run that I'm thinking, it's interesting because we may see a scenario where the shorts were too soon on MSTR and we actually blow them out once more, and then MSTR gets true weakness. So if MSTR doesn't fully top with this one, and we blow Bitcoin back up again, I do see a situation where we either create a double top on MSTR, or the move on Bitcoin that comes next is strong enough to basically blow out the MSTR shorts one more time, all-time high it, whatever, and then it's going to be cooked. We'll see. That's a lot of prediction there, but that's what I see happening on this market. So, like I said, unless this time is different, then that's probably going to happen. See, even this, right? So, look at, well, I mean, I guess MSTR is going up a little bit today, but, yeah. So that would be kind of... That's the other thing too, is it would be wild if MSTR had enough strength to squeeze out these shorts, because so far the shorts have won. Let's not say they haven't won. And when I say the shorts have won, you could look back at the chart and be like, they've lost all year. True, but that's because, you know, Bitcoin's been going up. So, like, duh. But as soon as MSTR got to a very known overbought shorting location, it got whacked 30%. So the short sellers have, in fact, won this little battle, right? It's no doubt. Now, whether or not they lose it is the next question. So, and you'll know, and I would say you'll know to a degree. Like let's say Bitcoin goes to the next run that we're thinking, goes all the way to 130, maybe even 150. Like if MSTR gets no love from that, then you can bet your ass as soon as the Bitcoin market tops, MSTR gets cooked, right? So think about it that way. Think about the inverse, which is if the Bitcoin market does go to wherever, 130, whatever thousand, and MSTR has almost no appreciation with that move, as soon as Bitcoin gives up on a top, this is going to get cooked. It's just going to happen. All right, so let's go back to the SPY real quick, and let's take a look at what's going to happen. Well, was it? I already know what happened. We bounced support because it's common. Whoa! How did that happen? Why did that happen? Who knows? I know that's a lot to take in, but again, really all you're seeing here is we took the low of day. So think about today. Today's market, that's it. Let's say today was the first day the stock market ever opened on planet Earth. It had a bull market today, and that bull market just retraced to its bull market volume weighted average price support and bounce. That's it. We literally just tracked the volume from today's intraday bull market, figured out where a low risk level of that was. And we know, right? So think about this. Now think differently. We know that most people didn't buy the initial candle. We know that most people didn't buy that. And most people probably didn't buy that. Hell, most people probably didn't even buy this. All right, so what did they do? They bought along the way up, and then we just stopped them all out, hit a little average price, bounced it, right? So we just basically know that if we think about how people participate in the market, most of them did not buy the opening candle, right? It's a lot of the YouTube streamers, videos, Twitters will always talk about waiting the first 15 minutes to see how the market's going to move. So if you waited the first 15 minutes of this market today, then you minimum would be buying at $608.20, right? Minimum, if you wait the first 15 minutes. So that means they're basically buying into this breakout at highs, right? And then we just stop them back out. Oh my goodness, the market is rolling. Again, this is another big one right down here, because this is going to be the data. So now you're looking at today's volume weighted average price of the low from data. There you go. Doink. Probably another little bit of a scalp long, to be honest. I can't say. Let me just double check the market internals. I'm saying that without looking at the market internal. So 1 second. Where the hell did it go? There it is. Well, maybe not. I'm going to say. The SPY issues are looking pretty shiesty. We'll see. We'll give it a second. We'll see what this next 1 minute does. But, we're basically on the data announcement. Volume weighted average price. The market internals don't look good here. It's kind of more downside than it is long-sided. I could show you, obviously, real quick, right? So look right here, this bottom right one. You see those are the SPY issues. Obviously, they're going down. Everything's going down, blah, 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 and things could change. But this just basically needs to find its own support on its own right now. It's not happening based off of market internals. So what time is it? We just got a new 1 minute candle, right? So there's the 1 minute transition off 1 minute scalp support. Again. how did you get this chart with those levels? I'm not sure which you could have been looking at. I'm not sure which chart you were looking at. I know I go through a lot of charts, but yeah. I'm really not sure. Today's video was golden on these last nuggets. Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that. I don't know. I feel like they're going to do a scummy long here. I think it's going to result in a scummy long. Could be wrong. I mean, also, they do like to use the 5 minutes, so it's like if, for whatever reason, they don't do it here. Well, I guess we kind of got the 5 minute there, so let's just move this. Don't need that anymore. Don't need that. Don't need that. Let me double check the VIX, too. I haven't looked at that in some time. Yeah, so the standard deviation ones are simply from TradingView. You can go to TradingView, go to Indicators, search up Standard Deviation Channel V1 right there. It's by JMF Tattoo. You just have to, yeah, it's just an indicator you have to get off of TradingView. It's not a perfect one, but it works pretty well. It's just pre-programmed in that indicator, so it's not me moving the dates around. But yeah. Again, right now the market internals don't really have a setup for a great bounce or anything. It's just, again, it really, the FANG's kind of holding up, still doing okay. So we'll see. Again, it's too sketchy just to be shorting at that low by any means, obviously. And obviously the reason I say that is because we know that the target roll was here, right? So we've already rolled the market to our target, so now you just need the market to randomly keep giving up, or else it goes to, like I said, a little bit of a long push here. Let's double check this 5 minute. 5 minute would be here, and then, all right. Oh yeah, I meant to check the VIX and I didn't. VIX. The VIX really ain't doing nothing. Okay. There we go. Snap, snap, snap it, snap it. Again, not much support to be found. Like I said, you know, it's kind of an over-under. So now what we know is, again, we've pretty much, think about this. We've pretty much stopped everybody out on the long from data now, is the way that I read that. So the volume weighted average price from data today has been stopped out. And again, that's simply because most people, right, they didn't buy the low of data. They made it bought up in data. They made it, you know, so it's, again, that's a big stop out now because you're stopping out the data move, so on and so forth. And then vice versa. Oh, wait, hold on. 30-minute support? Yep, we just hit 30-minute support down here. So definitely be cautious of a little bit of a scalp along here, too. That is our 30-minute bottom-up support. But we're also a little early because there's still about 14 minutes on this. So do be mindful of that. We've stopped out the 1 minute. We stopped out the 5 minute. Now we're testing the pre-market trend support on the 30-minute scale. A lot of times another little bit of scalp long spot. I know it's pretty beat and pretty bearish, but regardless, you get the point. I could cover this stuff all day long. So always know, like a data trend, 1 or 5 minute, it's just an over-under, right? So it's when you're above, it can be used as support. If you break it down, you're essentially stopping out that data move. So this is definitely a stronger kind of support area than would be the 1 and the 5 minute data trend because it comes from the pre-market 30-minute trend, which is right here. So this is our 30-minute support trend right there. So again, a lot of times a decent little scalp long even can turn into something better. Right there, 607.58. And then, since we did the bounce there, we would track this last leg. So for the initial 1 minute counter long from this low, if the market plays nice, we're going to get it back up to about, let's see, and the snap is here. Right about here, this blue zone, I would say this is good. Anywhere from there to there. The reason I did it like that is because we kind of shelf dived that one. But yeah, so that blue zone would basically be the counter long target of this 30-minute support based on the backtrack of the 1 minute micro. So we take a 30-minute support, bounce it, then just go and screw over all the 1-minute micro trend short traders real quick is the objective there. Actually, I should even, just in case, adjust this one to here. And now the target will be here to here. Take off the previous because those are like just in cases, but we really want it right about there. Okay. Yep. So there's the 1-minute retrace target hit. You can see how the candle starts a little red. So that's the initial 30-minute support, bounce, retrace, micro trend trade. Cheers. Good stuff. Good stuff. And arguably, again, this if that could pretty much be the bottom for the day, for the moment. You know, that's what you pretty much have to expect. This is the bottom for the day off that 30-minute support for the moment. Does it fail later? Maybe, but you know, there's a lot of rules that I have and a lot of different systems that I use for thinking of a market, but I don't want to tell you it's the bottom because sometimes it doesn't work. But basically, when you come into a 30-minute support, you have to at least respect it as support first for a scalp. Then, if things kind of hold up and develop, you can get a secondary leg off of it. So, you know, right now, we'll find out. So we'll see if we get a secondary push on this. If we start to get above this 608.20, we could kind of further the push because the micro might start to squeeze out those shorts. So if the shorts think that there's going to be a lower high here and they fail to lower high it, then they just get pushed out. If they have a successful attempt of a lower high, we will then basically backtrack the 1-minute support off this 30-minute support low, which would be here. So if they're successful in even attempting a roll, we're going to target this back down to about here on the roll, right there for now. And it can update a little bit. See how it's moving down some? So we'll just move it down. Move it down. A little bit. All right, now we've flattened it. Come on, baby. Go get it. Come on. Go get it. Give us the old Tagger Magoo. So you see how we were talking about you have the initial scalp micro long off support back to micro trend down. That's why we said target into here for the scalp long. Right? And then if the shorts are successful at lower highing, we will first take it down to attempt a higher low, which so far has failed, right? So right now the 1-minute higher low has not worked. It's failed off this low, right? Doesn't mean that it can't do, you know, build one and what have you, but, you know, so there you go. That's another good thing I was thinking about is, like, you know, when someone asks me an opinion about something, like, oh, well, what do you think's going to happen, or what do you think about this, right? I could not have figured that sort of little trade out until it started happening, right? Because I didn't know that we would break down necessarily with this speed and then go all the way directly to here. But once we did that, then we hit the support. And then we figure out where the volume weighted average price is of the last leg, and that can give me a counter long target. So that all took place. Like, I could never have told you this trade was going to happen until basically it started happening, which was over the course of, I don't know, 10 minutes, right? So it required what had previously just happened over the last 10 minutes to get that counter micro target off the 30-minute support. Now, the 30-minute support was derived well early today. This was from pre-market, beginning of the day type stuff. Side note, and again, this is like the last and final support that I normally look for on a day. So yeah, if that for whatever reason gives up, then I'll have to start kind of reevaluating plans and what have you, right? So if we look at the market internals here, look at the SPY. SPY is just going down. The SPY is not, there's no bullish price action on the SPY. So for this bounce to have more than what it's doing, you're going to want to see that turn around along with the NYSE, along with the NASDAQ. So again, for a moment, like we said, scalp long. And if the market internals turn around, then maybe we get a little bit more off this low. Oh. Oh, perfect. Thanks, Cooks. I created a multi-time frame anchor view opportunity view to be able to see view apps on any time frame. That would be helpful. Yeah, or is that standard deviation from JMF? I worked with him a little bit, kind of gave him some of the details on it when he first made it. So it's as close as we could get it to the Thinkorswim version. Thinkorswim's a little more accurate, but it's, you know, we're talking pennies. Not really pennies, but like dollar to cents. So it's no big deal there. Again, yeah, I mean, I have nothing else to say other than the market internals are still bearish. We've sold into a 30-minute support. We've micro bounced it as expected. And yeah, now you just got to be careful. Because again, if the market internals keep trading down, then you take out the 30-minute support and we'll see what comes of then. You know, I'm not really, wasn't really planning for that. I wasn't planning that far ahead today, I guess. Yeah. Where's the VIX doing? Has the VIX done anything with this? No. Just not doing anything. And that's another good, all right? So like look at this whole drop on the market and someone's go, the VIX isn't doing anything. It's like literally the VIX doesn't have to go up just because the market goes down. You're more likely to see the VIX go up when the volatility starts uptrending, which the volatility doesn't start uptrending until it's over like 1340 for right now, right? So just because the market goes down doesn't mean the VIX has to go up. Generally, when the VIX starts uptrending is when volatility likes to go up or has an easier time to go up. And as a result, you may see the market come down. So again, just because markets are going down doesn't mean the volatility has to increase. A little bit of a double bottom magooster there at the 30-minute over under support. It's good stuff. Let's double check this. Double check. If we get an epic failure, we might even look down to here at some point. 607. But I can't bank on that one yet. 607. I mean, yeah, I do foresee us going to about $607 with the pre-market 30-minute support failure. That's on the table. I'm not as comfortable about it though, but it's kind of toying with me in the back of my mind. So, we'll see about that. We'll see. Time will tell. It always does. Nah, I won't monetize it. No, I never monetize anything that's given to me like that. You put TOS system. Thanks, Cooks. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm excited to check it out. Maybe it can help alleviate some of this back and forth I'm always doing on the screen. Bitcoin, what a little shit stain. Literally, you're just gonna not go. Well, I mean, I guess we got pretty darn close. I mean, can't say we didn't. Let's just double check. I mean, we were targeting up to about 98,800. So that was so we're close, but we'll see. I mean, again, it's all kind of irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. I mean, this is all short-term stuff, but yeah. Oh man, what a good day. SPX just chilling. See all the fibs on this screen? Look at all those. Again, those are just all from each day's gap, just tracking the gaps. We have about 4 minutes. 4 minutes till the next 30-minute candle. This is going to be a relatively big deciding candle. It's going to arguably decide whether or not we bounce support off this 30-minute some more, or if it kind of fails. So a lot of times, we'll get the deciding candle here pretty soon. About 4 minutes. Not a guarantee, but again, this is a 30-minute support. So we can see what? We see that the 30-minute candle came down into, so the first 30-minute candle sells into 30-minute support. You have 4 minutes until the next 30-minute candle, so if the 30-minute support is going to hold a decent support, you'd imagine it bounces, and as a result, as we transition into the next 30-minute candle, we hope it prints green for 30-minute support. Hence, 30-minute support, transition, 30-minute candle. Not a guarantee, but that's generally the way we think about it. So we came down and hit that support. Well, it's 11:26. We hit that support like 10 minutes ago, 13 minutes ago. So we did the initial bounce, scalp. So oversold 1 minute bounce, 30-minute support, trade down, hold a double bottom so far, transitioning into the next 30-minute candle. And that's going to basically decide whether this thing boosts up or if it falls apart. Right now, it's looking okay, actually. So we'll see. Again, I don't make up all the rules, but. And then like this right here, I don't know if we already did it, but we should be retracing this 1 minute structure. See how we retraced right here on the 1 minute back here? So like, duh. So we already retraced the most recent 1 minute counter trend target, which would have been developed off the previous high, which was developed from the previous high. So we're going to go like this, high that bad boy, boom. Right, so you have leg down, retrace, leg down, retrace, right? So effectively getting through the price here will start to maybe take out some of those 1 minute short sellers off the previous leg. So anyone who shorted this last leg above this is where they're going to probably start squeezing themselves out effectively. All right, we got about 2 minutes. 2 minutes till the next candle, 30-minute candle. And as a result, I think we're going to boost up along here. I could be wrong. I don't know everything, but we'll see. I've said that other times, and then we don't. But, you know. Like, we're still holding below the 1 minute. Still got a minute or so. Again, it's the deciding. It doesn't have to be the deciding factor, because sometimes it takes like another, like, you know, we transition to the next 30-minute candle. Could be 2 30-minute candles, but, you know, you can't pinpoint everything perfectly. There's a lot of what ifs, I guess you could say, but I think we'll find out here in the next minute. There go the 1 minute shorts. They just got squeezed. See that? Boom. See how we took that out and instant volatility up? There they go. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. And now I know it doesn't look like a whole lot, right? But I mean, boom, boom, right? That's a 1 minute micro squeeze, right? Last sellers that were short just got taken out. So whether it's futures, some options, some equity, we know that anyone who shorted this, shorted here, I mean, they just got taken out. There's, no. All right, so we have 15 seconds till the new 30-minute candle. We've already bounced this pretty good. It would have been easier to start a candle green if we didn't already bounce this low so high. That's another kind of stipulation to the setup, but we'll see. So new opening candle, red, right? If we had opened down here, it might be easier to go green. All right, so now it's a new 30-minute candle. We'll see if we can print this guy green off 30-minute support. Let's double check the market internals, see how those guys are doing. Again, they haven't changed. Where is that? Did I? Oh, it's right there. I'm like, what? Wait, no, it's not. I must have canceled out of that on accident somehow. Unless it was this. No, I must have exited out of that somehow. Darn it. That's a bummer. Guess I could just do this real quick. Whoa, look at the long. Wee. Green candle, just like that. Does it print red eventually? Who knows? But again, you come into 30-minute support. Transition to the next 30-minute candle. Green, right? That's the concept. If you're working a 30-minute support, you're thinking in times of 30-minute candles. If you're working a 1 minute, it's in terms of 1 minute. 5 minute, 5 minute. Daily, weekly. And that's how you keep sort of the timing of your thoughts in order. Wee sound like that little piggy from the insurance commercial. He's spinning that little flying helicopter thing out the window. Where is this? All right, give me a second. I gotta do something here and get my chart back in order. Wee. Oh, come on. Multi-time. All right, hopefully this doesn't screw everything up. Shouldn't. Hey, back in business, baby. Also, don't get all excited and think that that's just like some be-all, end-all long level, you know? Why is this on demand? That doesn't even make sense. I have no idea. I'm like trying to reset my freaking thing so it's back in order. That's so weird. Off on demand. There it goes. That was weird. Must have clicked that on accident. See, now this is... Why is that there? That's not supposed... Okay. And then, of course, now none of my charts are loading. Figures. I was trying to bring back up the market internals and some... I might have exited out of it or something, but... Well, that's cool. Now none of my Thinkorswim platform will load. That's typically how that goes. They usually screw my shit up eventually. So that's cool. I'm glad that none of that's working. So let's just not use that for now, I guess. Yeah, I never look at the futures because I can just use the index to time the futures. So we find out that looking at the index is a better means of timing the futures. So again, it's like, you know, if we look at, I would bring it up, but yeah, just none of my shit works anymore because, you know, because I guess Thinkorswim's just garbage. See, like right now, it's like, why isn't my platform working? Just a perfect internet speed, you know, great platform. It was working fine a second ago. Now it's not working. It's just like, come on, dude. It's just why you gotta be shit. So we'll just close that down, which will probably not do anything, and then we'll restart it. But yeah, so if you go look at the ES futures and you look at, you know, the SPY, I mean, basically we use the SPY strategy to bottom the futures. Come on, Thinkorswim, work this time. Let's see if that does the justice or if it's still just being stupid and not loading any of my stuff. Hey, back in business. There we go. So... Literally, the SPY issues not bottoming there. The only thing that's helping right now is the FANG. So again, like, it's not even really that strong of a bounce at this point. You know, it's a decent bounce, but it's really not that strong because we don't have participation amongst the S&P 500 issues. So we'll just say that it's not the strongest bounce, but again, as long as the FANG keep holding up and doing okay, bounce can live. But let's go look at, we'll bring up, I don't want to change that one. I'll bring over a different screen. We could bring up some of the futures. So /ES. Alrighty. So we'll go into a 1 minute. So again, right, if you look at the chart here, so we hit 30-minute support at 1113 right here. The futures hit the price of 6,096. So whatever that is, again, I picked up support on the S&P at 607.59 at 1113. As a result, the ES bottoms at 1113 at a price of 6,096, has an initial bounce scalp of 5 points. And from that support, the market's up about 5-6 points on ES contracts. And you can see the pattern, right? Pattern's almost picture perfect, identical. So it's not that we don't use things on the futures markets for analysis, but we generally work off the indexes first and then look at some other things on the futures markets. But for the moment, but yes, naturally we're looking at the indexes for figuring things out as opposed to futures markets. So that 6 whatever point bounce that we have here on the ES, all based off of the S&P 500, at least for me. Cheers. I'm sure this is exactly the information the trading community doesn't want you seeing and learning. They'd rather you still be focused on the bull flag, right? Or the bear flag or the pennant, right? So. It's a beautiful thing just watching the entire S&P 500 get smoked to the downside there as we took out the 1 minute data trend, 5 minute data trend, snap it to the 30-minute support, bounce the 30-minute support, literally telling you it's support as the market is panic candling down and then to the penny. Like, it doesn't always work that way, but again, when you're coming into supports for the first time, you always have to think opposite as opposed to continuation. In the event you're wrong, it kind of sucks, but, you know. Everyone's chasing it down short, right into a 30-minute support. Bounce. Bounce. What's Bitcoin doing? What are you doing? Come on, you turd. Go get those final targets. Come on. It's kind of got a roll to it right now, so maybe we need a temporary down or something. Whatever. Not really concerned about it. That's the thing is, like, you know, even yesterday with this whole entire roll, like, this, it's like it didn't even bother me, faze me one bit, because it's like, in the back of my head, I'm like, yeah, the market could sell all the way down to 43,000. So it's like, when you see the market just lose 10 grand, it's like, well, you know, I still got the market down another 50 grand. So, right. It's just a matter of maybe when. So even that drop doesn't even really bother me. You know, someone might look at that and be like, oh my God. It's like, yeah, it's a scary drop. But when in the back of your mind, you've already projected the market can still go down to like 50 grand, 43,000. You're like, well, guess it's not really a surprise. Granted, I don't think we're in that time yet. I don't think we're in the timeline yet. I think we still got some time before that even becomes relevant. But Yes, I own Bitcoin. 100%. Good amount of it. So, unfortunately, we go all the way down there. I get to see a bunch of money taken away, but, I could die tomorrow, so, it's just money, I guess. Another thing, too, I guess I really don't know what else I would spend money on anyways. All I really like to do is golf. I've had a boat before, didn't really like it, sold it. I've had a fast car before, sold that, used some of that money, bought some rental property. So I don't really, there's really no want for anything. Watches, I don't really care for a watch. They're cool, but all the watches I've ever had, I never wore them anyways. I have some jewelry, so it's not like I need jewelry. I have nice sports jackets. I don't need clothes. I don't care for shoes. I don't collect Jordans. So what else am I going to spend my money on, right? I game a little bit, but it's hard to get me excited about gaming. I do play some games. I play a little bit of Call of Duty, a little bit of Rocket League, but I get kind of bored of that too quick. I have a hard mind to stimulate is the problem. That's why I think I enjoy doing this so much, because there's so much that goes on and there's so much that can change and there's so many little things to it that it can keep my mind stimulated. I thrive on stimulant, right? Who doesn't? So my brain just is just eager for stimulation. So it's very hard. It's very hard to stimulate my brain with literally anything. So games are something that kind of get it going. I really enjoy golfing, but other than that, it's very challenging to get me stimulated in a way that I kind of enjoy. Pokemon guy. I used to, but no, I'm not a Pokemon guy. Buy a Lambo. I probably will buy some sort of nice car in the future, but I used to have a gold Corvette. That thing was sick. But then again, I had it for a couple of years. I'm like, well, kind of have a deal on a rental property, so maybe I'll just took that money. I'm like, I can just get rid of this, use some of that capital, and go buy this, and that way I don't have a depreciating asset, and I have a more of an appreciation asset. So, there will come a time when I want some other cool car in the future, but I usually just spend all my money on investing, everything, whether it be paying down high interest debt on property, buying Bitcoin, gold, silver, stocks. Literally pretty much spend every dollar I get these days. A 9 or a 10, right? Because, yeah, I'm usually averaging pretty much almost every single round I play is going to be low 80s, maybe an 85, but I usually don't go over 85, so I'm usually going to be in the low 80s, occasional high 70s. So I'm usually just playing around high 70s to low 80s. So anywhere from a 9 to a 10 on average would probably be my handicap. Yeah. Which is funny because I play so much, you'd think I'd be better than that. But damn, it's a hard game to just be so consistently good at all the time. Yeah. Yes, she does. To answer your question. What do you prioritize over? What do you find? Yeah, so really to kind of answer your question, this is all based on timeline. Longer term is stronger, daily stronger, weekly stronger. So basically, as you go from weekly to daily, they're all stronger to weaker, right? So 1 minute's weaker than 5 minute, 5 minute weaker than 30 minute, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that's kind of how I prioritize the list, is just from top down or bottom up, daily, weekly to minute, from minute down to dailies and stuff like that. It's hard to say. They all, again, when I say, like, what's the most powerful, they all have a specific, they're all to be used at a specific moment in time. It's a bit of everything, right? I've taken everything that I learn, everything that I like, and I just crunch it into my analysis, and everything kind of has a certain spot for it at one point or another. I can't really say one's more important than the other. I mean, they all. Yeah, I guess I couldn't say that. It's hard to say. I would say my number one go-to is always going to be the, again, SPY, 30-minute chart. Take this all off the screen. Remove 14 drawings, right? It's always going to be this, right? So let's just, from here, I'm going to put a vertical line on the chart. Like the simplest I can make from here. Oh, wait, what is that? YouTube search query. That's funny. Let's take that off, not that. Alt V. Not that. Damn it. But pretty much that. Alt V. All right, so from the vertical line on the chart, you should be bullish the market. Has that analysis been wrong? So for almost 2 weeks straight, the analysis, bias has all been correct. Stay on the long side of the market. It's more favorable to be on the long side of the market, right? So right there, that simple system has kept you, now that you've learned this, you on the correct side of the market for 2 weeks. You may have logged into a YouTube stream here, into a chat room here, on a subreddit somewhere, and someone's loading puts on the market. We're shorting the market today. I'm buying some OTM puts and we're going to crush it. And they've gotten spanked for 2 weeks straight. Simply because you're not in a bearish market in the short term. You're in a bullish market. So by learning this, you've essentially prevented yourself from buying puts on the market. Now, maybe you scalped some puts or you scalped a trade short or something like that. But you knew not to buy puts and just go for the holy grail of trades is because it's not even a bear market. Now, let's say you were back here at this vertical line, right? And you go, okay, the market is broken down. Now we're in a bear market. I'll buy some puts here because we are in a bearish move. So if I'm going to at least be bearish, be more likely to be now since the market's bearish. And now your puts, the next day it gaps down and then you have a gap and go down and now you make money, right? Versus the guy who buys puts in a bull market trend, and now he buys puts here and down and back up and lost, down, back up, lost, right? That's because you're not bearish, you're not below. So that is one of the most simple and effective ways that I think you can stay on the right side of the market. And there you have it. Again, so that's what the thing is. You could go to all these different places. Someone could say, hey, I'm loading puts in a buy signal. So that's one thing that I kind of giggle at sometimes these days is when I see some Twitter posts and some guys like, I'm loading puts. And it's like, well, you're in a buy signal. And then it just gets cooked for a week, right? Or someone's like, like, here's a go. Like, yeah, or like basically here. It's like, I'm buying calls. It's like, well, you're in a sell signal and then gap down tank and he's cooked, right? Or it's like you could have just waited until the market at least tried to go positive and then buy calls. You'd have far better luck. It's not always going to be clean, right? Look at back here. Look at this. Like, a little up and chop and then down and chop and then up. It's not always going to be perfect. But, so that would be one of my important go-tos. Speaking of, have we transitioned the pre-market 30? No, we haven't. Yeah, CD, I got your message there. see. 60. So you took high to low. Yeah. Gotcha. I see. Yeah, so you're taking. Yep, I see what you sent. Crypto P. I think that's you. Dr. P. Yeah. Bitcoin just chilling. Not really doing a whole lot. Mother trucker. Extended hours. There we go. I was gonna say the Fang names are starting to get a little bearish there. So QQQ, let's see. Take this guy off. Yeah, they're a little bearish. We might get a little roll there, but anyways, I think that's a good stopping point for the day. We already pretty much, I mean, I would say done about as good as you could possibly do. Nice. Okay, where is this at? Yep, anyways, probably going to call it there. You guys have a good weekend, and yeah, I'll catch you back at some, well, I probably won't. So, yeah, this is pretty much the last stream I'm sticking around all day. So, again, links in the description. First link, William Trading New. If you guys want to join us in the private, pretty much do this, you know, same thing you pretty much saw here in private, you know. So if you guys want to hang out for that, feel free. Links in the description. And then other than that, I might, like I said, try to introduce some sort of afternoon stream. It's not going to be as cool because all the cool shit's going to already have happened. So other than that, you guys take care. And I will see you on the next one, I guess. Cheers.